a certain amount of games and days you can be on the big club's roster before you require waivers. So, that's why Murray got sent down, because it doesn't count. Today doesn't count as a day being part of the Leafs. They want to delay him going down, needing waivers as long as possible.
First look here, it will be Kampf with Marner and Nyes on the top line based on the first rush we saw down there. During warm-ups, Islanders and Maple Leafs Saturday night, Hockey Night in Canada, Scotiabank Arena. We're chatting with Luke Fox. Okay, the deadline is something we've been teasing and talking about for a while. The third line and the data points we're getting from the third line, I'm not sure how much it changes it, but I do have a theory, given that Bobby McMahon and Max Domi have played so well together, that could remain somewhat fixed, and that maybe you're not looking for a center, but you're looking for a right winger. Every time we talk about the trade market, we hear that defensemen and center are in huge demand. There might be 5 teams looking for a center and only 1 team looking to give up a center. If Max Domi and Bobby McMahon play well together, and you could find someone who could try to round out that unit in a way that kind of does what you wanted from a center perspective, do you think there's any reason to believe the Maple Leafs will take what they've learned from this third line and maybe adjust the plan ahead of the trade deadline?
Yeah, to me, it's been 3 games, and 2 of those games are against a team that's not going to be in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. I still think if you can get a center, you go get one. We're just talking about David Kampf centering Mitch Marner.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
I really think center is still the number 1 priority. And right now at Christmas time, there's probably not a lot of sellers because the separation hasn't been there, but things can change, right? The deadline I think is March 7th. So let's get a couple, another month and a half, 2 months of games under our belt. Maybe there is a little bit more separation. Maybe another seller emerges. For sure, center's a premium, but to me, I still think that's the greatest area of need for this team.
It's pretty surprising how, maybe not the strength of the team, but the left side used to be this thing like, who's going to play on the left side? Even entering the year, who's going to play on the left side for the Maple Leafs? You got Matthew Nyes. You're hoping he can be the top line guy. Surely he's definitely done that incredibly well, acquitted himself beautifully. But Pacioretty's emergence, Bobby McMahon becoming definitely a guy that's probably the strength, at least in terms of pecking order of your third line. Suddenly, left side is the strength of this team.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Fingers crossed.
One of the strengths of the team.
Yes, we also missed a chunk of Pacioretty, but when he's been in, I've really liked his physicality. Bobby McMahon, I think, of the guys you've mentioned lately, he's blown me away. Mm-hmm. I just love his speed, his tenacity. I think he's been playing excellent, and you just ride this chemistry that he has with Domi as long as possible. But it's a long season, and we'll see. There's a few guys where I'm still crossing my fingers. Pacioretty's one of them. I love what he's in, but he's
in Pacioretty.
He's playing such a heavy game. He has been awesome.
He's been so good.
He's playing such a heavy game. Mm-hmm. And what stood out to me is they had a day off, and he's in Manhattan of all things, he said, I didn't go anywhere. I laid in bed all day. I needed to recover. And some of that's age, but I think a lot of it's the brand of hockey he's playing. And the goal is not to win 1 round. It's not to get Max Pacioretty through 7 games. Mm-hmm. They're trying to go 4 rounds here.
Mm-hmm. All right, Luke, we got time for one more here with you. Appreciate your time tonight. The Leafs play tonight. They play Monday. Then they got a little bit of time off for the holidays there. If you could gift the Maple Leafs one gift this holiday season, is it? Maybe it's a player, a trade, an amulet, some health? What would it be?
Healthy Austin Matthews.
Yeah, healthy Austin Matthews is the obvious one. But I'm going to go with Anthony Stolarz coming back on time and actually 100%.
Okay.
This loose body, this pebble in his knee, I would wish that it is the final pebble.
The final pebble.
Yeah. Final pebble in the knee, because
that's a good,
he has been so good.
Yeah.
And it's fine, the timing of the injury, but if this is a recurring thing, I think we all remember Game 7. Suddenly, their best goalie's not available, and if Stolarz and Woll are both available, that's what I wish for them.
The Final Pebble, the Anthony Stolarz memoir, available Christmas 2026. Yeah. I love it. Thanks, Luke.
It's a rush on that.
Well, that's knowing, giving you a whole year on it.
Yeah, that's true.
2026. He's not going to write it next week, so he's a year. Okay, Luke, thanks
time
so
to work
much.
on it.
Yeah, thanks so much for coming in and chatting with us. Enjoy, and if we don't see you, well, we'll be here Monday, but if we don't see you, happy holidays.
Okay.
Thanks for everything.
I will also be here Monday.
Okay, well, we'll keep bugging you.
Merry Christmas, listeners.
Yes.
Thanks for having me on.
Thanks so much. That's Luke Fox of Sportsnet. As we mentioned, we'll be on Monday as well. We got a daytime game there. It's a little bit of a funky one. If you're listening, we'll have it on Sportsnet 590. This fan will be on the pregame at 1:30 for the Jets in town before the Leafs take a few days off for the holidays. But we're talking about tonight's game. It is the Islanders in town to face the Maple Leafs. What would you gift the Maple Leafs? I gift mine on Friday night. I already gave it to them, but I could reiterate it to our listeners.
Well, mine was like a two-part gift, and it included both Ontario franchise. I want to gift Leaf fans a first-round series against the Ottawa Senators because it would be A, winnable, B, unbelievably entertaining. It'd be probably pretty good.
Travel.
Pretty good for us, too. We might be able to get on the road.
What? The Via Rail would love that gift. They'd be cooking.
I'd pay for my own way there if they'd allow me into the building. That would be fun. Might be difficult for our guy Andrew Holland to bring everything with him, but
come on, Ollie, just pack up.
The train's pretty spacious. Maybe that'll work. Mine's less about the Leafs, so I can adjust on the fly here. I mean, I'll take the easy thing. This team's not going to do anything without Austin Matthews. This is a big issue. This is a major issue for this team. It needs to be sorted out. If it's not sorted out and can't be sorted out, well then I don't really know what the upside is for this team other than, make it real difficult on a team that ultimately has a better outlook in terms of winning the Stanley Cup this season. You need to have Austin Matthews. He needs to be healthy, and to this point this season, it felt like he hasn't been at all.
No, I think that's fair. I think a healthy Austin Matthews is on the top of everybody's wish list this holiday season. If you're tuning in late or tuning in time for pregame puck drop here, Austin Matthews not in the lineup tonight. Will be questionable for Monday's game as well. Did Craig Berube say it was the slash, or he's saying a re-aggravated injury?
Re-aggravated on the.
So did you watch that?
Gilbert cross-check.
Man, Gilbert is going to be the most hated. He's on the naughty list.
It had Matthews clutching at his back, but again, I might be too simplistic to say, wow, that was the thing that did it, because he was held out of the skate the game before.
It was a bit suspicious, wasn't it?
And Craig Berube was talking about how he's gutting through an injury the day before that. So I think all these things are connected, and he was roughed up a little bit against the Buffalo Sabres, and maybe that is part of the reason why Matthews doesn't want to talk about his injuries. But at the same time, it's not really. It feels like in at least hockey and NHL circles with these teams, like they kind of know he's dealing with something, and if he wants to be targeted, or if players and teams want to target him, it's probably going to happen whether he wants to talk about it or not. And it really seemed that way against Buffalo, a team that he has a history with.
Yeah, it was tough to watch him laboring around a little bit and then wondering if that would be the end of, if he'd play the rest of the game. I do think, and Luke Fox brought up a great point with us there, the hit, it was Tage Thompson who kind of hit Austin Matthews. I wouldn't say it was even a penalty. It was just a bit of a, okay, you don't really need to do that. It's like when I'm in beer league last night and someone just wants to, give you a little slash.
No, it was a clean hit, and I don't know if there's hitting in your beer league.
No, I'm saying it's like one of those things where you don't need to do that, but it's not, it's not going to make me jump on somebody like Tage Thompson like Morgan Riley did. That's what I think was an eye-opening one when you saw him go berserk. And I think that just meant that they know that he's dealing with something, and if Tage Thompson, who you would think Tage Thompson, a fellow American, would want his countryman Austin Matthews to be healthy for the Four Nations. American pride there.
Well, Tage Thompson didn't make the team,
so
I don't think he cares all that much.
Think he cares.
Although, if he takes Austin Matthews out, maybe there's a spot for him on the roster.
That's what we figured out.
Maybe that's part of it.
Motivation
but
station.
No, I don't think, as much as we like talking about the Four Nations, I don't think anyone outside of Matthews' orbit right now cares about his participation at the event, especially competing teams.
Luke's poll that he put on is almost 80% of Leaf fans saying they don't want Austin Matthews to go to the Four Nations.
Its rationale is pretty simple. I mean, part of the Venn diagram here is, okay, Leaf fans and fans of Hockey Canada pretty much entirely overlapped. But, at least for Leaf fans. But, there's 2 weeks without games for the Maple Leafs in mid-February. That could be time spent not going from Boston to Montreal and playing unbelievably we think, competitive games. I don't know exactly what it's going to look like, if these guys are going to be beating the hell out of each other, but the first opportunity in 12 years to play true best on best, I think is going to have some guys playing pretty hard. And for that reason, Matthews isn't going to have a vacation in Boston, Montreal. He could have 14 days on the trainer's table if he doesn't go.
Go back to Germany.
He could go back to Germany. He could tour Europe.
You could do a lot in 14 days.
You could do a lot in 14
days. And you could really take some time to heal your body. So maybe this is all happening at the time that's going to be best for him to be back, ready, peak performance for when the puck drops on Game 1 of the Stanley Cup playoffs. But we'll see. Tonight we'll direct our attention to Mr. David Kampf on the top line, centering those two. We'll give you the full lineup on the other side, but the absence will be felt. The Leafs have struggled surprisingly against this Islanders team, who are last in the Metro. They've got a 4-game losing streak to the Islanders. So it'll be a nice game right before the holiday break. It'll be probably a pretty expensive ticket. A lot of people coming here tonight for a little holiday gift. A couple early Christmas gifts in the crowd tonight. So we'd love to see the Leafs, who are 14-4-0, best home record in the NHL, to keep it rolling tonight.
It hasn't felt overly dominant here. We haven't been to every game. We've done a bunch of home games. It doesn't feel like, wow, this team is just absolutely rolling on home ice, but that has been the case, and there is that little revenge angle that we love and appreciate. And I'm not talking about John Tavares. I'm talking about Lane Lambert, the assistant coach for the Toronto Maple Leafs, now on Craig Berube's staff.
Can he be my player to watch?
He was the head coach for the Islanders before Patrick Waugh took his job last year. I'm sure some money on the board from the assistant coach of the Toronto Maple Leafs tonight.
I didn't even remember that. That's just...
Well, you should.
Man, what's happened to this franchise?
Patrick Waugh.
The Islanders, they're falling off a little bit. We'll give you one more full preview on the other side of the break as we get you set for the Islanders and the Maple Leafs here on Hockey Night in Canada. A little Saturday night action at Scotiabank Arena on the other side. We'll get you set for Puck Drop. You're listening to Most Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
From the biggest stadiums to the coziest holes in the wall. From house parties to porch hangs to pride celebrations. From your favorite fuzz shop to your local Indian spot. From noodle bars to sports bars to salsa bars. There's a Molson with your name on it. Canadian Ultra XL. Molson. Everyone in. Must be legal drinking age.
At last, the Subaru winter is here. It's the perfect weather for the beach. Feel the sun's rays on the small amount of skin peeking out of your ski mask. Put on your beach puffer and hear the sound of the waves crashing over the chatter of your teeth. Get out there in winter like it's summer with standard symmetrical full-time all-wheel drive and advanced safety systems. Your holiday bonus awaits. Visit your local Subaru dealer for details.
Heard of Uline? You know, the have-it-all in-stock, ready-to-deliver shipping and industrial supply specialists. The company that does things for you that are unheard of, like keeping 41,000 items in stock in our own warehouses. With customer service reps on the line to get you what you need when you need it 24/7, 365 every time. Maybe you heard it here first. Want to hear more? Visit uline.ca. ULINE, your shipping and industrial supply specialists.
With a turbocharged engine, fuel-efficient econ mode, and tons of cargo space, the 2025 Honda CR-V was made for winter adventures. But with heated front seats, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and a cozy interior, you may want to stay in its comforts a little bit longer. Lease the CR-V LX two-wheel drive from $99 weekly at 2.99% APR for 28 months with $2,100 down. But hurry, Honda Stretch Lease offers end January 2nd. OAC conditions apply. Includes $1,500 lease bonus. See HondaOntario.com.
The biggest college football games are on Sirius XM.
That was one of the craziest college football games I've seen.
Hear every game of the college football playoff and more than 40 bowl games.
That was a great move. They just juked him out of his shorts.
Get the channel number for your school's broadcast at SiriusXM.com/college football schedule.
Still on his feet, and he's into the end zone.
Or search college football on the SiriusXM app. And for expert analysis, check out College Sports Radio Channel 84.
The biggest plays.
What a save!
Hits.
Hard hit.
Goals.
McDavid scores!
Tune to NHL Network Radio for the most in-depth hockey talk on the planet.
He is the GM of the Minnesota Wild.
Insiders.
The revenues and the big business.
And the best analysis on the air.
Alex Ovechkin!
The NHL on SiriusXM. Hear every team and your hometown call. NHL Network Radio. SiriusXM 91. And on demand with the SiriusXM app.
Score!
24/7 hockey talk.
To understand that you are allowed to legally still check the head, not just the head. The head by itself is a penalty. If you wanted to change it, that would be like in the IIHF. That's probably a penalty at the Olympics. That's probably at the World Juniors. That guy's gone and suspended. I ask you, do you want that?
SiriusXM, NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and on your schedule with the SiriusXM app. Hockey 24/7 on SiriusXM NHL Network Radio.
The only two players in the history of the National Hockey League to have 600 goals, 1,600 points, 3 Stanley Cups, and 2 Conn Smythes. Wayne and Sid. Just like it absolutely blows your mind how good Sidney Crosby is and how much we take him for granted.
SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and on your schedule with the SiriusXM app. Under review.
Avalanche goaltending sucks. There's no other way around it. They have the worst team save percentage in the National Hockey League. Oh, sure, they can score goals, but they can't prevent them. And this is why I don't take the Avalanche seriously as a Stanley Cup contender, no matter how top-heavy they are with future Hall of Famers. Their goaltending's bad.
Under review with Mick Kern, 11 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen, walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, scores!
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM.
Join me, Scott Laughlin, and Gord Stellick, along with former NHLer Mike Johnson for NHL Morning Skate, weekday morning, 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91.
Take good care.
This is Molson Leafs Hockey. On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network. There's a Molson with your name on it.
Welcome back to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network. Ailish Forfar and Justin Cuthbert as we get you set for the Islanders in town to face the Maple Leafs here at Scotiabank Arena. We just spent the last hour giving you all the info you need. We'll condense it in the next 11 minutes before puck drop.
Yeah, and if you're just joining us, you might not know. Austin Matthews won't play tonight, and his status moving forward is a little unclear because he re-aggravated, according to Craig Berube, his injury that kept him up for nearly the entire month of November. Last night on the cross-check that he received, looked a little labor before that, had missed some time, or at least some practice time before that, so it's made all me not as simple as the one cross-check, but Austin Matthews is dealing with it, and he won't be able to go tonight for the Maple Leafs. We'll see about what happens next week, but for at least tonight, Maple Leafs will be without their number one center and captain.
Yeah, Leafs on a back-to-back here against the Islanders after beating the Sabres 6-3 last night. So no Matthews tonight. Why don't we start with how they fill his absence in the lineup?
They will do so with number 64. David Kampf. Yes, David Kampf will move into a top 6 role tonight as to not break up the chemistry on the third line and, of course, the production of the second line, I guess the first line tonight. But let's roll through all 4 lines for the Maple Leafs tonight. Pacioretty, Tavares, and Nylander on the top unit. Nyes, the aforementioned Kampf, and Mitch Marner. Bobby McMahon, Max Domi, Nick Robertson will stay on the third line. Steven Lorentz, Connor Dewar entering after missing last night, along with Ryan Reeves, who will be back in as well. On the blue line, Morgan Riley will be back with Connor Timmins. Oliver Ekman-Larsson on the left side with Chris Tanev. And Simone Benoit and Jake McCabe will form a pairing with Joseph Woll in net and Dennis Hildeby, not Matt Murray, backing up.
Yes, Joseph Woll set to play his 50th career game tonight, which is awesome for him. He's going to be leading right now, currently leading all Leafs in that time frame with wins in the first 50. He's got 30 wins, so he's been excellent this season. He's been really great on home ice. His record is 6-1-0 here at home. That's third best in the NHL with a goals against average of 1.66, which is second best in the NHL, and a save percentage of .936, which would be third best in the NHL. So he likes home cooking, and he's got the opportunity to continue to add to that. Tonight, he's only faced the Islanders once, and he had a shutout. All 20 shots he stopped. That was November 2021. So Joseph Woll getting the start tonight makes a lot of sense, obviously, with Stolarz being down, and he has been very, very strong for the Maple Leafs.
Well, you probably shouldn't say the dirty word shutout, especially before the game starts, but maybe there's a good chance he does it again. The New York Islanders are the lowest scoring team in the Eastern Conference this year. They have their offensive woes. They have many woes, but the offensive ones, they're high up on the list. Their power play and penalty kill also dead last in the league. They do a lot of things really poorly, but they're going to get a boost in the lineup tonight. Anthony Duclair signed a free agent deal in the offseason, has missed almost the entire season to this point, but he'll be back in the lineup on a second line with Brock Nelson and Kyle Palmieri, giving a little bit of an offensive boost to a team that desperately needs it.
Okay, so let's find out what your key to victory is. The key to victory is brought to you by your Ontario Honda dealers. Up your game. Lease a CRV from 2.99% up to 28 months. Visit HondaOntario.com.
Well, I think the key could just be the third line continuing to do exactly what they've done, and that might be too much to ask because they've done a lot. But if you make the decision, if you're Craig Berube, to not touch your second and third line and put a guy like David Kampf, who is pretty much replacement level, at least at the offensive side of things, onto your top unit, it means, well, you need production from your second and third line. You're pretty much getting it from the second line all season long. So it necessitates then maybe that the third line has to continue to do what it's done. So continued middle six success, but maybe more specifically, another goal from that third line. I think that's going to be a key to victory tonight.
Yeah, I'm really happy with the third line. It was kind of like a bit of misfits. We used that word earlier in the show, but three guys that were looking to prove something when they all got put together on a line. It was Nick Robertson and Max Domi, who were both dealing with big-time zeros across the scoreboard there for a long, long while. And then Bobby McMahon coming back from injury, like he wants to get himself back in good standing. He wants to remind everybody why they were calling him Bobby McMatthews last year. And once they paired all three of those guys up together, it was like this feisty, prove-yourself mentality every shift, and it has been really, really, really clicking since they've been back together. So I like that they decided to keep those three to see, in the absence of Austin Matthews, if that is actually a real chemistry, a forced chemistry, or a lucky happenstance here. So looking forward to seeing if they can continue what's been a really incredible tear of a few games.
50 combined minutes for that trio, 6 goals for, just 1 against. McMahon and Domi, if you want to reduce the search a little bit more, McMahon and Domi in their time spent together on ice, the goals are 13-5 in favor of the Toronto Maple Leafs. They've been really good together. I don't know if it's enough to be like, hey, we don't need an addition on this third line come trade deadline, come playoff time. But those two have been really strong together. They might have to continue that tonight.
I think they should still add.
I probably agree.
Okay.
But
it's a long ways away. But
maybe you're adding a right winger instead of a centerman is the only thing that I'm floating into the airspace.
It's an interesting idea.
As centers are apparently hard to come by.
They are the most wanted wish list this holiday season. Okay, I'd like to do my player to watch, Justin.
I can tee you up for that. The player to watch is presented by Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. You must be 19 plus in Ontario only. Please play responsibly. Visit connexontario.ca. I just want to say before you get to it, David Kampf is a fourth line player playing on the top line. Is he still priced at a fourth line rate?
Is.
So maybe
look at
a secondary player to watch?
Yeah, I'll give you a couple players to watch. You know, I'm generous in the holiday season here. My first and official player to watch is John Tavares. Ever heard of him? Spent a long time with the New York Islanders, and this one, I think, even though their teams are in two different stratospheres in a sense, still means a lot to him. He just hit his 600th career milestone, assist milestone last night. in 14 games against the Islanders. He's got 11 points, 6 goals, 5 assists. So I'm going to give you a John Tavares plus 180 anytime goal. I also like the value on 2 points plus 270 for John Tavares. But one thing that I also thought was an interesting stat was on a second night of a back-to-back, so hasn't happened too many times, but he's tied for the NHL lead in goals with 6. So he can cook on back-to-back nights, okay? He's not... Father time has not come for him yet.
No, that's the off-season training.
That's the amulet.
That's taking it real, or that as well. That's a big part of the success this
He's
season.
healing. His body's ready. He likes a back-to-back. So there's your John Tavares plus 180 or plus 270 for 2 points. And I do like your David Kampf 9-1 to score.
The last time I checked, it went down to 650.
Oh, I got it a 9.
Just to make sure that we're on the same page,
right.
or that we're giving correct information
So
to
are
the
you, folks.
viewers who may be opening up their app as we speak.
I hope they
I'll
are.
give you the Islanders lines. I mentioned Duclair coming back. He'll play with Brock Nelson and Kyle Palmieri. Anders Lee, Matt Barzal, and Jean-Gabriel Pajot on the other top line, or the top 6 line. Third line, Maxim Siplikov, Bo Horvat, Simon Holmstrom, and a fourth line is Kyle McLean, Casey Zizekas, and Hudson Fashing on the back end. Romanov and Dobson's the top pair. Pelech and Pollock, also a really strong pairing. Isaiah George and Scott Mayfield make up the third pairing, with Ilya Sorokin starting again for the Islanders tonight.
That was interesting. For those listening that can't see the video board, they just had a Ryan Reeves hype up the crowd video that must have been produced, I don't know, but obviously preseason. Have you seen that before?
I did not see that. I was given the lines while I was
yeah, he's getting this crowd fired up, and they love home crowd here because the Leafs have the best record in the NHL at home, 14-4-0 on home ice this season. That leads the NHL in wins, and they're playing a lot of back-to-backs. It's the eighth time they've had a back-to-back, and that's an NHL high as well, with a 4-2-1 record. So kind of mixed results, but they've lost 4 straight to the Islanders. So they're tied for their longest active losing streak to a single opponent, that in the Hurricane. So for some reason, the Islanders have had the upper hand, but you mentioned it, the Islanders not doing too well themselves. Last in the Metro, 12, 14, and 7. They need a happy holiday boost themselves. So this is the thing, whenever the Leafs play a team that is below them, beneath them, they've started slow. We were here the other day when that Sabres game, it was 2-0 after a minute, basically. The Leafs just got to come out and control the play right from the beginning. Don't lower your game to anybody, even if they are the Islanders.
Yeah, the Maple Leafs have had trouble with that historically, but, this is a game you're expected to win. There's 3 of the next 6 are against the Islanders, so it's an opportunity here to gain a measure of revenge against a team that has beat you 4 consecutive times and all 3 times last year. But, yeah, the Islanders are frankly no good. Worst team in the worst division in hockey. This is a team you want to be able to beat, a team you can beat without your best player tonight in Austin Matthews, and maybe potentially moving forward, at least in the short term here. This is a highly winnable game on a second half of back-to-back on home ice. You've been dominant in the second half of back-to-backs. You've been dominant at home. Be dominant against the New York Islanders.
All right, we'll get you set for puck drop on the other side of the break. We'll have Joe Bone and Jim Ralph, who will get you going for the first period. It is Leafs, it is Islanders at Scotiabank Arena. They're just setting out the starting line. As we mentioned, there will be no Austin Matthews, but Max Pacioretty, John Tavares, William Nylander holding down the fort for the Leafs up front. It's Joseph Wall in net. Dennis Hill to be backing up as Matt Murray sent back down. Just a paper transaction, though. They'll be kind of going back and forth between those two. All right, on the other side of the break, you'll hear Joe Bowen and Jim Ralph. You're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Sports Grid Radio on Sirius XM has you covered this NFL season.
The Saints and Packers wrap up Week 16 of the NFL season on Monday Night Football. The Packers open as a massive 14-point favorite with a total of 42. Can the Saints pull off a massive upset, or will the Packers keep rolling? Make sure you tune into Sports Grid Radio to stay up to date on all the latest.
The place to get the winning edge over the sports books this football season is Sports Grid Radio. Channel 159 in the car and on the Sirius XM app. The biggest plays.
What a save!
Hits.
Hard hit.
Goals.
McDavid scores!
Tune to NHL Network Radio for the most in-depth hockey talk on the planet.
He is the GM of the Minnesota Wild.
Inside.
What's up, hockey fans? Thank you, insiders, for being here. Thank you for hanging out with us during Hockey Night in Canada, the best night of the week. we're doing something special with these college football playoffs. Man, the insiders asked for me to do the games, and what a difference it's going to make with SickKids. We already had a great first game, and we're live right now, so please make sure you stop by that live right now and hit that like button over there so that it can get a little bit bigger and get more thousands of people in the chat so that we can give more money to SickKids Hospital like we do every single month with our revenue share with SickKids. Now let's get back to the hockey. Go Leafs, go! Let's get the victory tonight over the Islanders. It's always good when the Isles and the Leafs tangle with Johnny Tavares, former captain of both squads. Go Leafs, go! We'll see you back in the chat.
1,600 points, 3 Stanley Cups, and 2 Conn Smythes. Wayne and Sid. Just like it absolutely blows your mind how good Sidney Crosby is and how much we take him for granted.
SiriusXM, NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and on your schedule with the SiriusXM app. Under review.
Avalanche goaltending sucks. There's no other way around it. They have the worst team save percentage in the National Hockey League. Oh, sure, they can score goals, but they can't prevent them. And this is why I don't take the Avalanche seriously as a Stanley Cup contender, no matter how top-heavy they are with future Hall of Famers. Their goaltending's bad.
Under review with Mick Kern, 11 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app.
The UEFA Champions League is back on SiriusXM FC, and this year it's bigger than ever.
Absolutely ridiculous from Real Madrid. Merseyside magic from Mo Salah.
Now with more matches featuring soccer's most iconic clubs as they battle it out for European supremacy.
What a start for Inter! Haaland scores the hat-trick!
From the league phase to the final, the Champions League is on SiriusXM FC 157 and the all-new SiriusXM app.
The big names are on NHL Network Radio.
The Executive Director, Vice President of Hockey Operations for the NHL, Colin Campbell.
The one thing that we're wrestling right now, like when do you change a call? We talk about a listening device in the referee's ear. Do we make that next step? How more perfect can we make a game through video review and helping the officials on the ice?
SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, and the SiriusXM app. The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind, wrist the line, and walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, scores!
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM.
14 back-to-back games. The Leafs have played more than any other team in the National Ice Hockey League to this point in their season. But after a victory in Buffalo last night to the tune of 6-3, the Maple Leafs will entertain the struggling New York Islanders, piloted by Lou Lamoriello and Patrick Roy in behind the bench. And they have had their problems with a lot of chanting going on in Long Island about Fire Lou. So we'll wait and see how that all transpires through the course of the season. Many-time Stanley Cup winner and former general manager right here in Toronto.
Done?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. All right. Well, from a Leaf standpoint,
okay.
Back-to-back games against struggling teams.
Shot into the Islander zone. Around back of the net. Pulock got it up on the wing, and it'll be pushed out at center ice now by Palmieri. He gets it into the Leaf zone, and it is Tavares going back. Well, lots of changes, too, since last night. And the biggest one is Austin Matthews is not in the lineup. Nylander wheeling in on the wing and got a shot away, and it was off the mark wide on the short side. It is punched to center ice by the Islanders. Ekman-Larsson and Tanev exchanging the disc. And now Ekman-Larsson starts up with a pass that'll be deflected down into the zone. On the boards, Nyes couldn't come up with it. Marner out there. David Camp is playing center in place of Austin Matthews.
David Camp must feel like he's one of those kids that won a contest, right?
Yeah. Flipped in by Marner into the near corner. Round back of the net, swept around the boards by the Islanders. It'll come to center ice, and the Leafs have to regroup it, and now Morgan Rielly Gets it ahead, and Marner over the line, dropping for Riley. Back in for Marner and around. Back of the net, he's centered in front. And a shot is whistled by Domi just off the mark. And then a shot by Marner. Deflects wide of the goal. Marner knocks down a pass with his hand. Gets it to Domi on the left wing. Centering feed in front of the net. And the Islanders will push it to the line and get it out. Siplikov sending it down into the Toronto zone. Round back of the net. A centering pass, and they score! Siplikov makes it 1-0 Islanders here early on just their second shot on goal, maybe their first shot on goal. And it comes a minute 49 into the contest.
Well, again, the Leafs have numbers in front of the net. Nick Robertson was the closest to Siplikov, although technically his man is the right defenseman. And just too much time and space given away to Siplikov.
7th of the year.
Rookie who was a 30-goal scorer with Moscow in the KHL last year. 31 goals in 65 games, and he got that away quickly after the Leafs had some opportunities at the Islander end.
Reeves trying to work it into the corner. The Leafs fell behind in Dallas before rallying, and now trail here 1-0 early in the first period. Played ahead off the stick of Lorentz into the zone. Trying to hustle in after it was Connor Dewar. The puck comes around on the left wing, and out come the Islanders with a pass ahead. Mayfield works in on the right side, swept it to the far boards. Reeves tried to chip it up the boards but couldn't, and Pyle drives into his man, but the puck won't clear as it's sent back to the Toronto goal. Oliver Ekman-Larsson playing it to his defense partner on the far side. Tanev couldn't get it out as it comes back to the blue line. Near side now for Pulock. Pulock trying to send it into the corner. That's blocked. It comes back to the blue line and fed around the boards and into the corner. Tavares trying to chip it along on the near wall. Comes to the blue line. Kept in by Ryan Pulock. Into the corner and now to the side of the Leaf goal as they cycle the puck along. And Pulock comes off the point. Now tries to center. Goes back to the Leaf goal. Banking it back to the blue line. Adam Pelech is there to play it back around back of the net. Trying to come out in front. And the puck comes free, and a shot is stopped by Wall. He couldn't find it for a minute, but now scampers back into position. Islanders with good pressure here. Tanev cuts it off. Gets it back again. Now with some skating room. Chris Tanev bringing it out of his own zone. Tanev to center. And across the line. Nylander gets it around the boards for Matthew Nyes. Nyes to Nylander. Back for Nyes. Nyes getting it back to the point. Shot taken there off the wing. And a lead pass just out of the reach of Anders Lee. Will get down for an icing, but paid the price with a hefty hit there from Simon Benoit. Leafs don't get the puck out. And McCabe going back into his zone. McCabe banking it off the boards. The Leafs have changed their defense tandems. McCabe playing with Benoit and Tanev playing with Ekman-Larsson. Along the boards and into the far corner in the Islander zone is rolled out at center, and the Leafs have it there. And Morgan Riley playing it ahead, and Riley is playing with Timmins. He had been playing with Ekman-Larsson. So some scrambling done here by the Leafs on the back end. Marner at the blue line, trying to chip it into the corner, but misfired on a pass there for Bobby McMahon, and it's out at center ice. The Islanders in on the wing. A shot, scores! Bo Horvat finds the far post, and the New York Islanders have jumped to an early 2-0 lead.
Morgan Riley stepped up. There was a man on the right wing boards, but the pass was about 4 feet off the ice. Ricocheted off the boards to the middle of the ice. Horvat picks it up and walks in and snaps it past Joseph Wall, blocker side. Connor Timmins was back, but the free ice was already given down the right wing side.
I think the Leafs may have called, well, if not a timeout, they're huddling over at the Leaf bench. And
we've
it's
seen
a one-sided conversation going on here with the head coach.
Let's not forget, the Leafs were down 2-0 last Sunday to Buffalo here early on home ice. And that took a second period rally to come back and win that.
4:48, the time of the Horvat goal. I didn't hear them announce the timeout, so it must have been granted to some extent. 9th of the year for Horvat. The Domi line comes out. They have been the hottest for the Maple Leafs here in the last while. Domi getting it back behind the net. SickKids with a pretty good hit on the boards, but it is launched to center ice, and now Robertson trying to get to it. But Adam Pelech is there to play it out at center ice. SickKids trying to send it into the Leaf zone, and does, bouncing it in wide of the Leaf goal. Tanev up on the wing. A pass ahead to the left wing side eludes Domi, and it's going to be an icing call here. So it will come back into the circle to the right of goaltender Joseph Woll, who comes into the game with a record of 9-4-0, a 2.30 goals against average, and a .918 save percentage. But he's been beaten on 50% of the shots he's had here thus far.
The Islanders coming in a 4-game where they've lost 3 of their last 4 coming in. Buffalo had lost 11 straight before the Leafs played them last night. But it goes to show you, doesn't it, that if you're not ready, it doesn't matter who you're playing in this league, they can embarrass you in a hurry.
Oh, that is the truth. McCabe in his own zone gets it ahead. Brought out at center ice now by the Leafs and fed into the corner by Lorenz. He gets there first. Lorenz in the near corner, getting it back to the point to Morgan Riley. D to the far side, and a shot steered wide by Sorokin, who gets the start in goal, and he's been a busy camper. He is 9-10-4 already this season. Played down into the Islander zone. Both teams are changing. 13:48 to play in the first period, and 2-0 New York. Islanders skate to center, and it is shot into the Toronto zone. Down the boards it'll go. Pajot got it back to the Toronto net. Timmins couldn't come up with it. Played back to the blue line. Shot from the angle went deflecting wide of the Leaf goal. They play it back into the corner, though. Here is Lee trying to work out in front, and it is smothered by Joseph Woll, and he's going to hold on for a face-off in the Toronto end. And we'll go to a commercial break, giving the head coach another opportunity to maybe voice his displeasure. It is a 2-0 Islander lead. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
From Brad Summer to high-level hip-hop beef.
What's up, hockey fans? How we doing tonight? It's Hockey Night in Canada, the best night of the week. My favorite night ever to hang out with you guys and chat it up, having a good time, cheering on our buds while we take on the Islanders. All right, it's time. Please exit out of the chat, hit that like button down below, and share this link out so we can get more hockey fans and Leafs fans here hanging out with us on Toronto Sports Insider while we change the world one insider at a time. And that sub counter keeps going up because we are live right now for the football game. We've been live all day. I'm tired. My goodness, but it's so worth it. Thank you guys. Go Leafs, go. Let's get the W tonight. We'll see you back in there.
NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and on demand with the Sirius XM app.
The UEFA Champions League is back on Sirius XM FC, and this year it's bigger than ever.
Absolutely ridiculous from Real Madrid. Merseyside magic from Mo Salah.
Now with more matches featuring soccer's most iconic clubs as they battle it out for European supremacy.
What a start for Inter. Haaland scores the hat-trick.
From the league phase to the final, the Champions League is on Sirius XM FC 157 and the all-new Sirius XM app.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen. Walks in. Put it between his legs. Shoots it. Score!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
Leafs Radio Network.
The tenders of the tinsel twine brought to you by Molson. Molson everyone in. And it is Joseph Wall who is the only game that he has played against the Islanders prior to tonight had a shutout.
I believe it was second NHL start. He played in Buffalo, 1-5-4. And it was the Leafs' first game in the new building in Long Island, on Long Island.
On Long Island. Played by Marner into the offensive zone for Nyes. Marner arrives on the scene, got it in front of the net, but Camp couldn't do anything with it, and then the Islanders intercept a pass back to the point, and they carry it to center. Pulock on the right wing side. Matthew Barzal plays into the corner. The Leafs get it up on the wing, and now Marner starts out of his own end. Marner through center to the line and in, stops up, looks for Nyes, flips it in around back of the net. Pulock will get there first, but Nyes was able to take the puck away from him, but then it was stolen right back.
Boy, this has got the feeling of a long night, doesn't it?
Siplikov through center. Works in on the right side. He opened the scoring. Dropped the puck back. Pass intercepted. And now Tavares starts back for the Maple Leafs. Tavares is going to launch it high into the far corner. Nylander pressures but won't get there in time. Down the boards on the near side, Siplikov getting it to the line but can't get it out. And now it is iced by the Islanders, and that'll bring the puck back into New York territory. And in goal, as we mentioned, is Ilya Sorokin. His record against the Leafs is 5-8-0 with a 2.87 goals against average, but 9-10-4. He has been a workhorse thus far this season.
Yeah, and one of a handful of goaltenders that have played over 50 games or 50 starts in each of the last 3 seasons. UC Saros, Connor Hellebuck, Vasilevsky, and Markstrom are the others.
Shot goes off the side of the goal. It came caromming in front of the net, but the Islanders secure it. And they've launched it down into the Toronto end, but no icing. Morgan Riley skirts the goal and starts back up at center. He'll fire it into the left wing corner. Grabbed off quickly by Mayfield. Scott Mayfield playing it up on the wing, but it won't get past the Leafs at the blue line. Just kept in and launched into the near corner. Islanders play it around back of the net, and George will get it ahead at center. A pass to the Leaf blue line is knocked into the Toronto zone by Cizikas. Cizikas taken to the boards efficiently there by Benoit. Puck comes free, and it is worked up on the left wing side by Toronto and banked off the boards then by Ekman Larsson to get it into the zone to allow the Leafs to get a change going. Dewar along with Reeves over the boards with Lorenz as the Islanders get it up on the wing, and the puck turned over at the red line, fed back down on the right wing side, and Reeves into the forecheck, gets a hit in. The puck comes around back of the net. Islanders punching it out at center ice. New York 2 and the Leafs no score. Pass partially blocked, but Tanev goes around back of the net. Now he starts up on the right wing side. Tanev had it knocked off his stick by Duclair. The Leafs do get it into the Islander zone, but New York with time and space play it up ahead on the right wing now for Brock Nelson. He drops it back. Palmieri goes around back of the net, taken to the boards on the far side. Leafs are able to play it free. Morgan Riley gets it out at center. Nyes will shoot it into Islander territory. Hustles in there to get a hit in on Adam Pelech, but the puck comes free, and it's the Islanders who are able to control it in their own zone. Pulock will try to get it out at center, and that was just out of the reach of Lee, and the Leafs have it back behind their goal. Morgan Riley with a long lead pass. Nyes just did touch that. The linesman right there to make the call, but possession turned over. Long shoot and blockered away by Joseph Wall. Grabbed off in the Toronto zone by Tavares. And up on the left wing now for Benoit, who will shoot it into Islander territory. Siplikov, who opened the scoring, finds Pajot. And Jean-Gabriel Pajot gets it up on the left wing. Islanders into the corner. Centering pass. Barzal going to the net. And that was stopped there on the short side. A centering pass back to the point to Dobson. Dobson with a wrister, and that went wide as no one could get a redirect on it in front of the Leaf goal. Ekman Larsson into the corner. Pass goes off the skate. Islanders turn it over and play it down into the corner. Back of the net, Tavares now battling against Horvat. The former Islander captain couldn't come up with it. Now knocked to the far boards, controlled by Holmstrom. Holmstrom for the Islanders, dropping it off for Siplikov. Siplikov taken down, but no call. And the Maple Leafs are going to start out by just playing it off the boards into Islander territory, and another change coming.
Well, Leafs have had zero offense in this game. 2 shots on goal. 8 minutes and 30 seconds left in the first.
And hard to remember them, too, isn't it? Puck back to the goal, though. Domi getting it back to the point to McCabe. Far side for Tanev. A shot that struck McMahon in front of the net and didn't reach the goal. And it's played by the Islanders down the ice. And icing is going to be called on a close play.
Bit of a late call, too.
Yeah, a late decision by the linesman. He was sort of at the blue line and then all of a sudden said, hey, that might be icing, and turned out it was.
And it was Casey Zizekas, the longtime Islander, that was giving chase. I'm sure Jake McCabe knew he was getting it, even if he was the first one of the puck.
Face off to the right. Matt Martin is a scratch tonight, but that line had been with the Islanders for so many years, and it was an energy unit for sure. And now the Leafs with it back of the Islander goal. Got it into the goal crease, and Zizekas almost scored on his own net. It's pushed out at center ice by New York. Camp to the near side for Riley. Got it across the line for Nyes. Nyes to Marner, and a wrist shot swallowed up by Sorokin to stop play and bring a face-off in the Islanders' zone. 7:53 to play first period. New York has struck twice, 2-0. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, where every nail-biting overtime win, breakaway, pick six.
Hey you, the insider, the subscriber that's been here for however long. Whether you just joined up tonight or you're hitting the subscribe button and turn on that bell right now, or you've been here for such a long time like so many of you in the chat, the bees, so many of, oh my goodness, I love it on the hockey nights. Seeing all of you here in the chat, ladies and gentlemen, much appreciated. And this one, forget about hit that subscribe button and try and make that sub counter go up, because it's going up like crazy as it is. And you guys rock. This is where it started. Toronto Maple Leafs hockey, doing every single game live, and look at what it's turned into. Because of you, because of this community. So thank you for being an insider. Now let's get back to the hockey. Go Leafs go. Let's get the win here on Saturday night.
For details. Heard of Uline? You know, the have-it-all in-stock, ready-to-deliver shipping and industrial supply specialists. The company that does things for you that are unheard of, like keeping 41,000 items in stock in our own warehouses. With customer service reps on the line to get you what you need, when you need it, 24/7, 365, every time. Maybe you heard it here first. Want to hear more? Visit uline.ca. ULINE, your shipping and industrial supply specialists.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
Domi! That was up the rebound. Scores! Max Domi!
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
2-0 Islanders with a face-off in the New York zone.
Islanders actually have a 4-game winning streak against the Leafs over the last year plus.
The draw will be to the right of Sorokin. First period brought to you by Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 plus. Ontario only. Play responsibly. Visit ConnexOntario.ca. Leafs win the draw, and it wasn't done correctly. They'll do it over again.
Well, the Islanders have done this year. They've gone through some pretty devastating injuries. Matthew Barzal was obviously a big one. Anthony Duclair's just returning tonight.
Draw scrummed, but the Islanders play it around the boards. Duclair lost it and just did sneak out over the line. And despite the efforts of the Maple Leafs on the far side over there by Ekman Larsson, it is offside and whistled down. Tavares leaning in against Brock Nelson. Draw one. Pollock for the Islanders. Plays it to center. Benoit regroups it back in his own zone, and a pass brings Tavares in across the line, and a drop for Nylander. Nylander circles in with a backhand and scores! He is on fire.
Willie Nylander takes the drop pass from John Tavares. But one of the mistakes made was Ryan Pelech followed Max Pacioretty across the front of the net. And that led to Willie Nylander having the space from the middle of the ice inside the blue line, drive to the net on the backhand, and then go far side over the glove of Sorokin. And on the other side of that, you give Max Pacioretty credit for driving to the net. May not show up in the score sheet, but helped open up that lane for Willie Nylander.
22nd of the year for the Leafs sniper, who leads the team in goal scoring. Tavares will get one assist. Not sure.
Well, that's just, the shots on goal are only 4-4. 3 goals have found their way onto the scoreboard. Just 7 minutes and 23 seconds to go in the first period.
Draw one by the Islanders. A pass, Pajot deflects down into the Toronto end. Tanev around back of the net. A bank pass to chip it to the line. And the Leafs get it out into center ice. Shot right back in again by Dobson. Oliver Ekman-Larsson getting the additional assist as it rolls into the goal crease. And Wall is going to get a glove on top of that and hold for a face-off. So the Leafs on the board have cut the lead in half. It's 2-1. Islanders come in with a record of 12-14-7. They are 6-7-5 on the road.
Well, still hopes of a postseason. They're 5 points out of a playoff spot right now. They've got to do what Ottawa's been able to do. You got to go on that 7 to 10 game run.
And that's not a guarantee, but a 5 or 7 game losing streak becomes almost a certainty as far as the playoffs are concerned. It is a interesting bit of a dichotomy, I believe is the term, Mr. Rump. Shot around the boards and into the Islander zone, stolen back by Reeves, cycled into the corners. It hit the official's skate. That allowed the Leafs Lorenz to get it, but he made a horrible pass, and it comes all the way back to goaltender Joseph Wall. Leafs getting it back out at center. Lorenz couldn't come up with it. Reeves does, plays it back to the defense, and they'll go D to D as a change of players is starting, and the Leafs rifle it in deep, courtesy of Oliver Ekman-Larsson, who now heads to the bench. Puck down back of the net with Domi. Into the slot for Morgan Rielly, a shot. That was stopped. The rebound battling for it there was Reeves. He and Lorenz going to the bench, and Domi's line mates will join him now. 6 minutes to play in the first. 2-1 is the score. Islanders with the lead and the puck. And across the line, a wrist shot taken by McLean, deflected wide of the goal. Cizikas in the corner, trying to center, had it blocked. Hudson Fasching trying to get it along the wall into the near corner. Islanders get it into the slot, back in front of the goal. And it was tipped just wide of the net as Fasching tried to redirect it there. Now it comes back to the point. Pollock with a wrist shot, knocked down by Wall. Juicy rebound laying there, but no one could get to it. Islanders playing it up on the wing, and Domi couldn't reach it in time. Fasching again back of the net, stolen by Robertson. Robertson makes a good play to get it into the corner with some time and space, but then Bobby McMahon doesn't get the puck out. And some frustrated patrons, you could hear them. Back of the net, Islanders again with it. Leafs hemmed in their own zone. Trying to get it in front, and it's cleared into the center ice area.
Well, as good as this line has been, that was a tough shift. Spent all of the entire shift back in their own zone, and they had to be over a minute of ice time, didn't they?
Played off the boards to the line, but not out. Brought back in by Noah Dobson. A pass in front of the goal. Still Frey. Trying to get to it was Marner, but he failed. Islanders buzzing again with it. Dobson to the left point. Here's a shot by Pelech that was blockered away by Wall. And now McMahon in dire need of just getting off the ice. Alley-oops at the center ice. Leafs will chip it again and get it into Islander territory. Islanders have had good pressure and a lot of zone time in this first period. 8 shots now directed on goal. Tanev back in his own zone for Jake McCabe. Back to Tanev. Tanev ahead for Tavares, and on the right side for Nylander. Willie plays it around the boards. It'll come back to the left point. They go D to Tanev. Tanev with a wrist shot blocked. A big bounce out in front of the net. Cleared to center ice now in a foot race. Racing back now with a pass into the slot and a shot. Pad save, another shot. Scores! Pajot follows up after a save made by Wall, and the 11th shot on goal restores the 2-goal lead. It's 3-1.
Now this time it was Jake McCabe, Joe, that got caught. The puck comes out of the zone. Chris Tanev, the only man back. He sprawled to try to take away the 2-on-1, but the puck slipped under him. The New York Islanders just getting the puck, bouncing it off the right wing boards and chasing after it. And that's twice now. The Leaf defense have got caught trying to cheat and pinch when really they had no business doing so. And this rebound opportunity goes under the right arm of Joseph Wall. But
Tanev blocked it initially, but couldn't do anything with it, and Wall couldn't get to it.
But they've been giving up a lot more off the rush the Leafs have in the last few games.
And they have been hemmed in their own end a lot here in the first period. A break in the action, 3-1 New York. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Every fantasy football player has a date with destiny, and this week is yours. The fantasy football playoffs are here. Listen to SiriusXM Fantasy Sports Radio and dominate your competition with expert analysis from a fantasy perspective to help you set a winning lineup.
And he spins his way into the end zone.
Go home a champion, or just go home.
At this point of the year, I want to be invested in teams that are playing for something.
The Fantasy Football Championship, Channel 87, and on the SiriusXM app.
The biggest plays.
What a save!
Hits.
Oh, a hard hit.
Goals.
McDavid scores!
Tune to NHL Network Radio for the most in-depth hockey talk on the planet.
He is the GM of the Minnesota Wild.
Insiders.
The revenues and the big business.
And the best analysis on the air.
Alex Ovechkin!
The NHL on SiriusXM. Hear every team and your hometown call. NHL Network Radio.
What's up, hockey fans, Leafs fans? Maybe some Islanders fans. We usually have a lot of New York people here. But hey, where are you watching from tonight? Where are we gathering from? Here on Toronto Sports Insider for Hockey Night in Canada, the best night of the week. Please let us know in the chat where you're watching from. Are you in Toronto? Are you in Canada, the United States, or somewhere else all over the world? Malaysia, Taiwan, Australia, New Zealand. Where are you watching from? Thank you for letting us know in the chat where Leafs Nation is hanging out together. Go Leafs, go.
For all subscribers.
And the Leafs Radio Network.
Faceoff will be in the center ice circle. And that change of defense pairings has changed again. Now Benoit is teamed up here with Oliver Ekman-Larsson. Looked like McCabe and Tanev have been restored as well. Ekman-Larsson chipping it along the boards for Reeves. Reeves doesn't get it out. Lost it in the corner. Ekman-Larsson after it again. Reeves had it his pocket picked and was able to get it back, then lost it again, and the Islanders are back in business in the Toronto zone. Dewar trying to help out now the defense as it's pinned to the boards on the far side. Pushed by Siplikov back along the wall, and Ekman-Larsson stick handles it into the corner, but had it taken away, and then a pass into the slot is intercepted by Reeves. He's trying to get to the red line to dump it in, but had it stolen back. Domi off the bench. Works back into his own zone. Has to stick handle around some debris. Carries into the neutral zone and in on the left wing, and the pass into the slot was in behind Bobby McMahon, but comes to Robertson. Now on the left wing side for Riley. A centering pass, and Domi couldn't get his stick on it. McMahon back to the point to Tanev. Over it comes to Riley. On the left wing side for Robertson. Centering pass, and McMahon had his stick lifted, and the Islanders secure it and play it down into the Leaf zone. Cizikas across the line, trying to get it into the corner, and Tanev will punch it along into the far side, and a bank pass comes off his stick at center, and racing after it is Camp. Camp trying to drive, and he got a weak backhand away that Sorokin was able to handle quite easily. Islanders back the other way with Palmieri trying to drive. Good play by Nyes to carry him wide as it comes to the point, though. Dobson with a long shot well wide of the goal. Marner with a broken stick helping out, is able to get it to center and flip it into the zone. Nyes will be first there, no icing. Around the boards it'll come to the near side. McCabe had pinched, but it's played to an open corner, and now Benoit on the far side goes around back of the net with it. Simon Benoit trying to chip it back behind the net for Camp. Camp breaks it off the end board, still has it into the slot for Marner, and a wrist shot went rather wide and missed the net. Duclair leaving it for his defenseman, who gets it up to him, but then Duclair has his pocket picked, but then Nylander had his stick lifted, and Duclair starts back at center. On the right wing for Palmieri. Palmieri with a shot that goes high, and Karam's to the line but not out. Drilled back in by Pelech, and around the boards it'll come. Islanders unable to trap it there as it comes to center. Nylander across the line for Tavares. Hustles into the far corner. Tavares got away from one check, got away from another. Back of the net he comes, now sweeping it in front of the goal, and Nylander couldn't get his stick on it with less than a minute to go in the first period. Off the boards to the far side. Played out at center ice. Tavares couldn't help out. Leafs are changing. 36 seconds left to play in the period. Dobson shoots it in. Blockered away by Wall. Into the corner. Domi can't get to it. Fed around the boards. Barzal works into the top of the circle to the point in a drive. Blocked in front of the net, and I think that hit Tanev. Lead pass now for Robertson. Robertson in over the line. A little stutter step to gain ice. Now it comes out of the corner with it. Played it back along for Domi, but it was stolen back by Barzal. Played out at center ice, and with 7 seconds left, there's a whistle from the linesman. Did it go into the bench area maybe?
Knocked down with a high stick just outside the Islander line. Trying to face off is going to be right at center ice. 7.5 seconds to go. Islanders have scored 3 on 9 shots. The Leafs just 6 shots on goal. Willie Nylander the only one to beat Ilya Sorokin. And that's the difficult part, is as much as the Islanders have struggled and everything, Sorokin's average is still under 3. Save percentage is still over 900. So when you start looking at the stats and what you're up against, 2-goal deficit against Sorokin and the Islanders is still a pretty high mountain to climb.
There's the horn that ends the period, and the Islanders, on goals by Siplikov, Horvat, and Pajot, have a 3-1 lead. Willie Nylander scoring for Toronto, and the Leafs down a pair after the first 20 minutes. We'll step aside for Ailish Forfire and Justin Cuthbert as the Leafs trail 3-1. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Big breakthroughs, colossal collaborations, and stars that went supernova. We'll run back tracks from channels across Sirius XM, but only one will take the top spot.
They not like us.
The Galaxy.
What's up, insiders? How we doing tonight? Pierre LaBelle in the chat. Pickleball Pat is here. Alexander Skal. Andrew Hurd, thank you for the gifted membership, my man. There's Mark Daigle, the original Cheers man. I got a to-go cup because the renovation's just finished up. Ladies and gentlemen, we're just finishing. They thought they'd get it done today. They didn't get it done today. They got to come back and finish tomorrow. But we've got our house almost back to normal, so that's really, really nice. But it's so great to see everybody here in the chat. My God, the football games were going absolutely insane. There's still 1,700 people in the Clemson, Texas game as we just passed, I think, 195,000 views. So thank you for being an insider. Thank you for making this community what it is. Now, what a horrible first period from our Toronto Maple Leafs. My goodness, that was pathetic. Started almost immediately. The Islanders got that goal. Then maybe we thought we were going to get back into it a little bit, but then it was not the case. So hopefully a better second period, and then possibly a better third period. But I think we'll be all right. I think we'll be okay. It's Saturday night, all right? It's hockey night in Canada. The Leafs have to win at home. We're hot. We're winning. Knock on wood or desk, whatever this. I think it's wood. Yeah, it's particle board. Whatever. Same thing. There you go. Hey, Brad Smith says in the chat, got to give B-Man a shout out. 100%. B-Man, thank you for the super chats wishing Veronica a very Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas to all of you. Happy holidays. Happy New Year. Whatever you celebrate. I hope you celebrate it and have a great time while you're celebrating it. Happy Kwanzaa. Happy Hanukkah. Whatever else there is. Me personally, I celebrate Christmas, and I'm proud to celebrate Christmas. So Merry Christmas to all of you. There you go. Mad Max in the chat as well. Love it, man. Love it. Tanar Sayers. Good to see you, Tanar. Denny Rodriguez, how you doing? Denny Rodriguez, how are you, my man? Greg Kirby, how you doing, Greg? Thanks for hanging out with us. Coolio, good to see you. There you go. I had some help. It ain't like I can make this mess all by myself. I like that song. I saw him, he opened up for Jelly Roll at the concert that TSI Allison and I went to. TSI Allison's at another holiday party, but I skipped out of this one. It's a girls-only party. Let the moms and the ladies hang out. I'll be at home watching sports. Speaking of that, I got to go check on the stream that we just started, the Tennessee versus Ohio State. So if you guys wouldn't mind, head on over to that stream and hit that like button, and then come on back, refill the cocktails, and let's get ready for the second period. Come on, buds. Go Leafs, go. We'll see you real soon back in the chat.
On the ice. Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen, walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, scores!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Moves it back in his own zone, and a pass brings Tavares in across the line, and a drop for Nylander. Nylander circles in with a backhanded score! He is on fire.
Welcome back to Most Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590, the Fan of the Maple Leafs Radio Network. It's a 3-1 deficit for the Maple Leafs after 20 minutes here at Scotiabank Arena. Eilish Forfar, Justin Cuthbert, as the Islanders kind of give it to the Leafs there in the first 20.
Yeah, they did. I mean, it's possible all that pixie dust they used up in these second halves of the back-to-back may have been it may have run out, because they look like a team on the second half of back-to-back today. And again, they've entered this game 4-2-1 in that department this year. They've been really, really good when forced out of their rhythm, but yeah, they ain't in rhythm tonight. That was not a rhythmatic opening 20 minutes for the Maple Leafs, who looked just a little bit shell-shocked, looked real disorganized, looked like they were not the fresher team. Sometimes it's not really difficult to choose which side, or to look at one side that has rest and one that doesn't. And certainly the Islanders, who haven't played since Tuesday, look like the sprier group.
Oh yeah, goal a minute 49 in on the first shot, first goal. You hate that if you're a goaltender. Joseph Woll, I think. So it was a 3-1 lead for the Islanders. I don't think any of the goals were particularly great goals. They were kind of mid. He did make some good saves sprinkled within that period, but the first goal being on the first shot, it's got to get in the goaltender's head, of course. Then Horvat comes down. He has a pretty nice snipe for the fourth shot of the game, and it's already 2-0 at that point. So a pretty bad start defensively for the Leafs. They look flat, as you mentioned. They weren't generating anything. They do end up getting a goal on a beautiful William Nylander backhand, and then an ugly defensive play or lack of play to make it a 3-1 lead for the Islanders, where you could see Chris Tanev, and I know the video on Twitter is probably circulating because they clipped it, but kind of swearing at the bench, just like, what are we doing? It was a pretty brutal defensive collapse. So they got to clean a lot up after that period.
Yeah, they're going to have to clean some up. We saw Craig Berube use a timeout after the second goal.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly, he's not liking what he was seeing, but it was like breakdown after breakdown kind of guys not really skating, doing a lot of watching passes fly by and do good things for the New York Islanders. But you mentioned that there was one great moment in that period. Nylander scoring on just an awesome backhand goal, his 22nd of the season. He is firmly entrenched in the Rocket Richard race. I mean, the Maple Leafs may be down a Rocket Richard candidate. I think the winner of 4 of the last 5, maybe 3 of the last 4, but Matthews has definitely had both hands on that trophy the last couple seasons. But Nylander may be filling that void. There's an outside chance that he could potentially take home some hardware because he's only a couple goals back in the league lead.
14-1.
Look at you.
For a little rocket.
Quick on the draw.
For a little rocket sprinkle. All right, I like that. He's on pace for 56 goals this year. So 50 goals for William Nylander would be an unbelievable season. So we weren't even thinking about where William Nylander would end up.
In a season where goals for the Maple Leafs are down.
So 56 on pace after that period. Yeah, he had a just gorgeous backhand snipe. Sorokin, I don't even think, I wrote, Sorokin looked like a mannequin. I was picturing, since it's the holiday game here, in Home Alone where he sets up all those fake dancing mannequins to.
It's been a while, but sure.
He sets up these Kevin these little fake dancers that they don't actually have body parts. That's kind of what Sorokin looked like when the puck went by his head.
Yeah, because it looked like a shot that was taken with a forehand.
Holly knows what I mean.
With a wind-up. It was an absolute rocket off his backhand. Crosby-esque, if I do say so myself. I will say I may have said too much about Max Domi and Bobby McMahon in the pregame show where they've been so dominant at 5-on-5 and everything working out beautifully for them. I think 6-1 the goals for with that third line as it entered tonight. Well, very quickly, the third line gave up 2 goals tonight, the first 2. So not a great start for the third line, which of course took on some added importance today by not being affected by Matthews' absence, therefore leaving David Kampf on a top line to play with Mitch Marner. So if they're not going, there's not much justification for having a fourth liner center the number 1 unit.
Less than an ideal start here after 20 minutes at Scotiabank Arena. We'll take a quick break. We'll take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard on a busy Saturday and get you set for the second period. You're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
From the biggest stadiums to the coziest holes in the wall. From house parties to porch hangs to pride celebrations. From your favorite fuzz shop to your local Indian spot. From noodle bars to sports bars to salsa bars. There's a Molson with your name on it. Canadian Ultra XL. Molson. Everyone in. Must be.
They're going to the second round. Do you believe this? Holy Mackinac! Point taken. 2-0 Toronto. 2-on-1. Marner in over the line looking for Tavares.
Thank you for finding us. Thank you for sharing out the link and bringing more hockey fans to our awesome community here on TSI. And let's get back to the hockey. Go Leafs, go! Let's tear them up.
Game on his stick. Scores! Changing the world, one insider at a time. We'll see you in the chat. And holy Mackinac, go Leafs, go!
Local Subaru dealer for details. Get the official NHL app to watch, read, and listen to all the deeks.
All I can say is absolutely wow.
All the sauce. All the saves.
Stop from Vasilevsky.
All the hits. All the snipes. All the sellies.
He scores! Unbelievable!
All the hockey. If it's hockey, it's here. Listen to every NHL game for free, now with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Download the official NHL app now.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
Maxwell Domi! And the Leafs have a 5-1 lead.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Welcome back to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network. Leafs trail 3-1 after 20 minutes to the New York Islanders. What else did we miss from that period?
I don't think we missed all that much. It was pretty ugly for the Maple Leafs. It's a deserving 3-1 deficit right now. It was sloppy defensively. The ability to come back and make good reads in the defensive zone, I think it's been a strength of this team. It was not in that period. A lot of things to clean up that weren't covered exclusively in that timeout for Berube. I'm sure there's a lot of chatter right now in the room. Even William Nylander took about 30 seconds on the tablet after the period, just checking things out, making sure he's got his notes down pat before he enters the meeting in the Leafs dressing room between periods.
Do you think we see any lineup configurations?
I was wondering, we could see some alterations.
How would you alter it if you were Craig Berube?
I don't think the third line has much to stand on.
After all this, I love the third line,
after
Justin.
that period, it was ugly.
Quick breakup, eh? He's like, it's over.
Listen,
breaking up with
it was a bad period. They played really poorly, but I think more than that, I think you're going to give them more opportunity later on. But maybe Mitch Marner needs to play with something, if they're going to get back into this game, because clearly Marner's your guy, and you're going to have to go to him and rely on some offense.
All right, let's take a look at the NHL scoreboard presented by Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 18 plus, Ontario only. Play responsibly. Visit ConnexOntario.ca.
Kings fought back, but Predators beat LA in overtime earlier today, 3-2. Oilers got a 3-2 comeback win over the Sharks this afternoon. Flames beat the Blackhawks 6-4. Just getting underway in the second period. Blue Jackets leading the Flyers 1-0. Canadians end of one leading the Red Wings 3-1. It is scoreless. Penguins and Devils early on in the second period. Bruins holding a 1-0 advantage end of one over the Sabres. And the Jets, after one, have a 2-0 lead in a big game over the Minnesota Wild. Still to come tonight. Kraken and Golden Knights in the expansion battle. And the Senators and Canucks will be the nightcap on Hockey Night in Canada.
All right, Jim Ralph and Joe Bowen will have the call of the second period next. Leafs with a 3-1 deficit to climb out of after 20 minutes. You're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
This week on Let's Go with Millbell.
Oh yeah, second period's coming up. It's happening. We're getting this done. All right? Come on, buds. Let's go. Tony Polidoro in the chat. Go Leafs, go. We're coming back and we're winning this. That's right. It starts now. The comeback starts now. Next goal, who's getting it for the buds? JT gets it. I'm going with Johnny Toronto. He's getting the next goal. Let me know who you think's getting the next goal in the chat. Maybe we'll pull up a poll and let's have a big second period. I've got to go monitor these football chats as well. So no beer for me, but hey, it's all right. We got that good legal stuff now. So we'll go hang out with that for a minute. Cheers, everybody. Let's get back to the hockey. Go, Leafs, go. Happy Hockey Night in Canada.
Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and on demand with the Sirius XM app. The UEFA Champions League is back on Sirius XM FC, and this year it's bigger than ever.
Absolutely ridiculous from Real Madrid. Merseyside magic from Mo Salah.
Now with more matches featuring soccer's most iconic clubs as they battle it out for European supremacy.
What a start for Inter! Haaland scores the hat-trick!
From the league phase to the final, the Champions League is on Sirius XM FC 157 and the all-new Sirius XM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind, wrist the line, and walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM. The best hockey lives here.
Barnes gets it back, stick handles to the backhand, moves in front, score!
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM.
Join me, Scott Laughlin, and Gord Stellick, along with former NHLer Mike Johnson for NHL Morning Skate. Weekday morning, 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91.
Leafs Radio Network.
Islanders with a 3-1 lead as we get set for the start of the second period. Siplikov, Horvat, and Pajot scoring the goals for New York. And Willie Nylander getting his 22nd of the year from Tanev and Oliver Ekman-Larsson. That cut the margin to 2-1 at one point. Shots favoring New York, 9-6. So the robust save percentage that Joseph Woll had coming in has taken a bit of a hit. Dennis Hildeby is the backup goaltender tonight after Matt Murray.
He's the Ernie Wakely of this duel.
Ernie never got to play, did he?
Not a lot, no. And for those that don't know, in 1967, the St. Louis Blues had Glenn Hall and Jacques Plante as their goaltenders. And Ernie Wakely, it was either late 60s, right after expansion. I'm pretty sure it was the first St. Louis team. And being two veteran guys, part of the deal was they pretty much alternated, but they wouldn't have to dress if they weren't playing. Yeah. Ernie Wakely would dress.
Ernie Wakely.
Yeah, so Ernie didn't get a lot of playing. Now I got to go look that up. But that's all I remember thinking is I remember Ernie Wakely's job was basically to be a backup goaltender to both Glenn Hall and Jacques Plante.
Jacques Plante. Leafs to the left and the Islanders to the right. And New York will bank the puck to center ice, and it's rattled off the boards and into the Toronto zone. Morgan Riley overskated it as it goes around back of the net. Palmieri trying to find a man, gets it back to the point. Pelech into the slot with a shot that deflects harmlessly wide. Leafs get it into the near corner, banking it off the boards. Stopped there by Nelson, kept in and then turned over. And Nye skates to the line. Nye's in on the left wing, stops up, hoping to get it in deep to allow a change of players. But the Islanders now starting back at center. They launch it high, too high, but knocked down by the Leafs and played back out at center. And Pollock will play it in on the left wing. Leafs now with Tavares getting it ahead to Marner. Marner slides it in for Pacioretty. That didn't work. Marner after the puck on the near boards against the wall. Gobbled up here as the Leafs play it along the boards. Now Tavares unable to get it, but Marner steals. Marner working to the left wing side. Works into the corner. Centering pass! That was deflected right on by Pacioretty. Good save made by Sorokin. Marner keeping it in. Marner stick handling in a phone booth. Gets it into the slot area. Got a shot away and he missed the net. So some juggling already. Marner playing with Tavares and Pacioretty. Long shoot in on Wall. Grabbed off by Marner again and played back of the net. Gonna have to pay attention here. They may have the names in a hat in the back behind the bench here.
Well, for Greg Berube, that's worked a number of times this year, hasn't it?
Brought in over the line by Pajot into the slot and a shot just wide of the net. Barzal in the far corner had it knocked off his stick, but Pajot gets it back to the blue line. A shot right on. It was redirected. And Wall has to come out and cover up on that. And he's going to have to be pretty much perfect here the rest of the way if the Leafs are going to get back into this game.
Yes, from a Leafs standpoint as well. You're hoping for some special teams. The New York Islanders coming in dead last on the power play, dead last on the penalty kill. As the Leafs almost cash in on a redirection. By the way, one year that I found Ernie Wakely actually played 30 games, Jacques Plante 32, and Glenn Hall 18.
Oh, really?
It was a 69-70 season.
Now, Ernie Wakely also played for Montreal.
Yes, he did.
And that would have been in the Jacques Plante era, probably, would it? Or would that have been a Rogie Vachon? Puck in the slot area in the Toronto zone. Lorenz has to go off his skate. Lorenz gets it again and bats it to the line, but not out. Long shot went off the glove of Timmins, and it carried him towards the net. Wall had to put the glove on it and stop it. The Leafs are going to make a change on the whistle, and there'll be a face-off coming in the Leaf end. You're back. You're going down the rabbit hole, aren't you?
I know, and I do this at home too. Ernie Wakely in 68-69 played one game for the Montreal Canadiens. 4.0 goals against average. The other goalies to play for Montreal that year: Dump Worsley, Rogie Vachon, and Tony Esposito.
Oh, very good.
Good luck, kid. Get some ice time with three future Hall of Famers.
Yeah, too bad we don't have another net at either end. You could maybe play a little. Back of the net, Leafs Riley starts out with a pass up on the left wing for Nyes. Nyes working here with Nylander and David Kemp. The puck in along the boards is into the corner. Nyes with a good hit there, but the puck comes free. It's cleared to the line, but not out. Backhanded in now by Kemp. Kemp gets it back into the slot for Nylander, closing, and the left hand rather confidently snaps out there by Ilya Sorokin to stop play.
Big smile on his face after that as well. I don't know if Willie Nylander said something to him as he passed the net.
Camera save, buddy. Camera save. Well, of course, the most famous camera save was instituted by the man behind the bench for the New York Islanders. Remember that?
The wink?
No, when he gave the flash of the leather and then dropped the puck and in it went.
That was against the Red Wings, was it not?
Yes, it was. A little showboating by the Colorado Avalanche goaltender, and now a backhand here is handled by Wall at the other end of the rink.
I tell you, you go through the list of clutch goaltenders in the history of the game, Patrick Roy is right up there.
Oh, I guess he is, yep.
Winning it for the Montreal Canadiens and then again for Colorado. Three-time Conn Smythe Trophy winner for most valuable player in the playoffs.
Maybe the most famous resignation ever.
Oh, yeah.
That was against Detroit, too, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
Yeah. He was getting blown out.
Last game with Montreal.
Gilles Tremblay, no.
Mario
Tremblay left him in the net. And as the old forum, the owner of the team sat right behind the bench, and Patrick Roy said, "I've had it. I'm out of here." Centering pass goes around the boards to the near side.
Ronald Corey.
Ronald Corey, yes, you're right. Very good. Too bad the game isn't as good as our memory. Puck down, played around back of the net. And out come the Leafs with Riley. Banking it ahead for Marner. Quickly up on the left wing, Tavares. Knocked down on the play, but couldn't get loose puck free. And brought back the other way by Matthew Barzal. Barzal had it over the line and into the slot area. Shot taken on the chest rather heavily there by Wall. But now Domi getting it up on the left wing for Bobby McMahon. Sharp angle shot hit the side of the goal. Puck stolen back by Domi. Coming out in front, and he didn't shoot it in time. Had it knocked off his stick. He had a chance to shoot it earlier and didn't take it. And now we get a whistle on an offside at the Toronto blue line.
I think one of the most impressive things about this line, Domi, Nick Robertson, and Bobby McMahon, and the heater they've been on, the 3-game heater coming into this game, is the fact that their ice time has not really been in relation to the production. Even, let's go with Nick Robertson. Last 3 games, 13-26, 11-16, 11-21. Second power play unit. And Robertson comes in with 3 consecutive 1-goal, 1-assist games.
Bouncing puck. Center ice area. McCabe got it up on the wing. Lorenz plays it down into the zone, and the Leafs into the forecheck now with Reeves getting it around back of the net. Lorenz bodies his man off the disc and now plays it around back of the net for Dewar. Connor Dewar trying to work the boards, now has it in the corner. Cizikas on him, stolen back by Lorenz, back to the point. Benoit with a shot, and again the glove of Sorokin is able to catch that about chest high and stop play and bring a face-off in the New York zone. Leafs' next action is an afternoon delight. on Monday afternoon, a 2 o'clock start. Next generation game, and as we mentioned last night, young David Charles Bowen's going to step in here and take Dad's spot for the second period, which we're very excited about. Looking forward to it.
Well, I'm looking forward to it as well, but I think if he wins the period, you stay with him.
Oh, no, there's no question about that.
He keeps going.
Yeah, and I will be Wally Tip.
It'll be Wally Cox.
Love Wally. Here's Nylander playing it around back of the net for Riley. Riley works it towards the net. That deflected wide with a lot of traffic in there. Back to the point. Tanev pumps it back to the net. Nyes couldn't get to it. And now the diligence of Nyes pays off. He comes away with the loose puck in front of the net. Backhand pass in front. They score! Holy mackerel, what a goal! Willie Nylander ends up getting it, but what a play in front of the net by David Kampf. Did it go off of an Islander player and not Nylander?
I think Willie may have got it, but David Kampf made the great pass. As Matthew Nyes pulled up in the slot and went onto the stick of Kemp. Well, actually, he had to kick it to his stick. Looked like he was going to try to deke short side. And then Nylander, who had been knocked down in front of the net, took the pass from Kemp and slips it into the empty corner right of Sorokin to get the Leafs back into it 3-2, and Willie Nylander continues to roll.
23rd goal of the season.
For Nylander's 6th goal, 10th point in his last 6 games. He's on a 6-game point streak.
Marner into the zone now with a shot. That was stopped by Sorokin, a centering pass. And it was cut off by Siplikov, and he'll bring it out at center. Siplikov on the left wing. Long shot directed wide by Wall, and out come the Leafs again. 3-on-2 rush. Tavares, a pass into the corner for Pacioretty. Centering feed, and that was just blocked. Another backhand pass by Marner doesn't work. And the Islanders are going to get to center and shoot it in.
Matthew Nyes. Time of the goal, 5:43. Nylander from Kampf and Nyes.
Kampf and Nyes draw the assists. And the Maple Leafs are back within one. Shot out at center ice and down into the Leaf end, and hustling after it is Anders Lee. The Fighting Irish Notre Dame grad couldn't come up with it. It comes to the side of the goal, stopped there by Wall. Down around the boards, have played back to the point. Kept alive by Barzal. Barzal stick handling on the near side, had it knocked off his stick, regained it, got a shot that went wide of the net. Back of the goal and a sharp angle shot hits the side of the goal. Barzal with it again. Back to the point once more. George gets a pass on the far side. That's blocked. 3 Leafs break the center. Flipping it ahead. Here's Bobby McMahon in! And that was stopped by Sorokin. Great pass there by Nick Robertson. George for the Islanders. Things opening up a little bit here. And it's off a skate and down into Islander territory. Both teams are getting a change hit.
Shots on goal starting to climb too. 16-12 favoring the New York Islanders. Remember, they were 4-2 with about 8 minutes left in the first.
Adam Pelech wearing a protective piece on his helmet to protect a jaw injury. Has iced the puck, and it's coming back. Before the game, well, one of the things we should say, the professional scouts of the Maple Leafs are gathering for meetings here just before Christmas. So we got to see a real good friend of ours, and Mike Penny,
yes,
who's a long time front office guy. And when I started doing games for the Sudbury Wolves back in 1974, he was the GM of the Kitchener Rangers. And you can't meet a better guy and a better hockey man.
Absolutely. Then Vancouver before coming to Toronto.
Yep. Leafs intercept, and now Nyes just failed to connect with Nylander, who was cruising into the slot. Played out at center and to the line. That should be offside, and is. And it'll be brought back into the center ice area as Willie Nylander with a pair of goals. And we will step aside here as there's a timeout The Leafs trailing 3-2. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, where every nail-biting overtime win, breakaway, pick six, three-point shot, underdog win, buzzer beater, shootout, walk-off, and absolutely every play in between is amazing. From football to basketball and hockey to baseball, whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. 19 plus, Ontario only. Please play responsibly. Gambling problem? Visit connexontario.ca.
With a turbocharged engine, fuel-efficient econ mode, and tons of cargo space, the 2025 Honda CR-V was made for winter adventures. But with heated front seats, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and a cozy interior, you may want to stay in its comforts a little bit longer. Lease the CR-V LX two-wheel drive from $99 weekly at 2.99% APR for 28 months with $2,100 down. But hurry, Honda Stretch Lease offers end January 2nd. OAC conditions apply. Includes $1,500 lease bonus. See HondaOntario.com.
Heard of Uline? You know, the have-it-all in-stock, ready-to-deliver shipping and industrial supply specialists. The company that does things for you that are unheard of, like keeping 41,000 items in stock in our own warehouses. With customer service reps on the line to get you what you need, when you need it, 24/7, 365, every time. Maybe you heard it here first. Want to hear more? Visit uline.ca. ULINE, your shipping and industrial supply specialists.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
The cross in front, they score!
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Islanders 3, Leafs 2. 11:52 to play here in the second period. A lot of pretty nippy global warming going on outside today, did you notice?
It's on the holidays for a couple of days. She's chilly out today.
She was brisk.
You being from Sudbury, me from the Sioux. This is
just
April.
A normal day.
This is April.
Yeah. Well, you didn't. You were out with your shorts shoveling, weren't you? Or tidying up around the yard, doing a little yard work. Nylander works through center and across the line. Flips into the left wing corner for Nyes. Nyes taken to the boards. The Islanders play it up on the wing, and they'll get it out at center. Duclair to the right wing side and in over the line, but there's McCabe to turn it back. A centering pass is stolen and he'll go! Oh, what a save made by Wall! The puck comes back to the blue line. Holy Mackinac, that was a terrible turnover. And Joseph Wall comes up with the save of the game.
I think that was Matthew Nyes, Joe, wasn't it, that tried to go up middle of the ice and had it redirected right in front of his own net.
Marner across the line with Camp. Works down on the right wing boards. Stepped it off there to Tana, who plays it around into the corner, but it is broken up by the Islanders and played to center ice and now brought in by Bo Horvat. Horvat to the corner. Tanev takes it away. Had to play it back of the net. Too well covered. Now trying to push it up for Tavares and does. Tavares couldn't get it out, but now it is punched to center ice before being shot right back in again by New York. Kicked around back of the net, now on the boards and up on the wing. It comes for McMahon. McMahon's pass was in behind Tanev, and he has to retrace his steps. Gives it off to Morgan Riley. On the wing now for Tavares. Can't get into the zone, and it's played back into the center ice area. John Tavares picked up the assist the other night on the Nylander empty net goal. His 600th career assist is a shot by Robertson. Blockered away by Sorokin. Robertson couldn't come up with it. Islanders in front of the net. Now down into the corner it goes. Played back to the blue line. A shot in traffic. Caught eye high by Ilya Sorokin that stops play. There's not been a penalty in the game.
No, and that certainly bodes well for the New York Islanders, as we said. Dead last in the NHL in power play and penalty killing, but we haven't seen either one.
You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Every NFL Sunday, you'll hear all the big plays on Sirius XM NFL Radio's Sunday Drive.
Touchdown, Buffalo!
Follow the entire league without changing the channel.
Chiefs are in the red zone. Let's go out to Kansas City.
Plus, fantasy football updates and post-game interviews.
From Baltimore, tight end Mark Andrews.
The Sunday Drive brings you closer to the NFL. Sundays noon to 8 Eastern on NFL Radio Channel 88 in the car and on the SiriusXM app.
24/7 hockey talk.
To understand that you are allowed to legally still check the head, not just the head. The head by itself is a penalty. If you wanted to change it, that would be like in the IIHF. That's probably a penalty at the Olympics.
What's
That's
up,
probably
insiders?
at the World Juniors.
All right,
that
the Leafs are coming back just like we
suspended.
said. Just like we said, the
you,
Leafs are coming back.
Do you want that?
Oh, I didn't mute the damn. I didn't mute the commercial. Son of a puck. This is crazy. I got the football game running right here. I got the TV going over there with the Leafs game. It's absolute madness in here. We're literally getting about 2,000 views every 30-second refresh. It's absolute madness. Thank you, insiders, for being here. Leafs are going to go get another one. It's time. I didn't even get the poll out for everybody for the next Leafs goal because it's madness over there. There's 3,400 in the football chat, and everybody, they all have such a hard time with me coming in the commercial breaks. I don't get it. I'm just here to have fun, chat sports, have a good time, hang out with the best people on the planet and on YouTube. Cheers. Hockey.
In the operation here, and Andrew Adams back at Command Central, and AWOL is Armin Sigarian on a road trip.
Yeah, I know. I got his text.
I wonder what that's like.
Well, he wanted me to send him money, so it can't be going that well. I think he's going to be in Cleveland for a while.
Domi at center ice, banks it in over the line. It will slide in wide of the goal, but no icing. And the Islanders get it up on the right side. They lead 3-2. Here's Barzal going around back of the net. Carries to the corner with a centering pass off the defensive shot. And it was high over top of the net off the glass. Back of the net now for McCabe. McCabe double teamed over there. And then a hit by Benoit buckles one of the Islander forwards. Shot from the point, blockered away there by Wall. Far side it goes for Pajot. Pajot loses it. Domi starting out with it down the left wing boards. He's going to flip in and peel to the bench. 8:48 to go, second period. The Leafs have the only goal of the middle canto. Brought in over the line on the right wing by George. He plays it around the boards to the near side. Leafs get an outlet up the middle. Camp on the wing looking for Nylander. Nylander against the boards. Camp follows up. Nylander tripped up there. No call, and the officials are getting the raspberry here from the folks in the Scotiabank Arena. Pass into the slot and a shot knocked down by Wall, and where is it? Oh, he's got it in his glove. It bounced up and went down into the back of the blocker, but because the catching hand, there was nothing in it. I'm going, why does he look so confident?
Boy, Willie Nylander got drilled as well. He arrived on the scene late as McLean was taking the shot from the high slot. And Willie just went right over him. Nylander with both goals in this game. And this is, to me, the most amazing stat. One career hat trick. February 4th, February 2nd, 2017 in Boston.
Islanders in the zone. Get it back at the Toronto goal. Fed up on the wing for Reeves. Reeves mishandles the puck and doesn't get it out. Kept alive now by Nelson. Centering pass goes off a stick into the far corner. Back of the net, Benoit has it kicked into the near corner. Reeves after it again. Intercepted a pass, and three Leafs come to center. Reeves in on the right wing. Lays it into the near corner. Rumbles in there to get it freed up now, and against the boards it's fed back to the net by Dewar. It'll roll to the far corner. Grabbed there by Romanov. And the Islanders are stretching things out, and the Leafs are letting them do it as they get a change of players going. Lead pass bounces high into the near corner in the Toronto end. Tavares can't get to it as it comes back to the far point. Pellick kept it in there. Oliver Ekman-Larsson got it freed up. Bank pass. Too hard, unfortunately, and Marner was in no position to get to it. Islanders get it back to the Leaf blue line and into the zone. Bobby McMahon swinging it around the boards, and back down the ice it goes. And McMahon heading to the bench here, but an icing call coming against Toronto will change that. And it'll come back into the Toronto zone.
They just continue to try to chip away at the New York Islanders, who, through all their problems, defensively they haven't been horrible. It's been the offense that has let them down at times. Like, we've known it here in Toronto, and it's the power play struggles. There are too many close one-goal games in the NHL that are decided by special teams.
Centering pass by the Islanders off a face-off win. Went high. It goes back to the net. Lee taken to the boards by Ekman-Larsson. Now Barzal lost it to Ekman-Larsson, who gets it ahead. And it is McMahon finding his man, and Timmins shoots it into the zone. That time it was McMahon with Tavares and Nylander, or at least Marner. Played down into the zone, into the Leaf zone. Grabbed off now by Nyes. Nyes starting with Camp to center, but the pass for Nylander was intercepted and now cleared into Toronto territory again. Tanev skates in front of his own goal and brings it out with a pass to defenseman Riley, who will shoot it in. Leafs are chasing after it. Camp got a hit there to try to free the puck up, but Cizikas will get it up on the right side, and out come the Islanders with a play up on the right side. Hip check there, thrown by Benoit. Stopped the Islander penetration there by George as it comes around on the near wing. Cizikas trying to get it back to the point, and he has. Pellick into the slot area. Pass intercepted by the Leafs, but unable to take advantage of it there was Camp, as the Islanders send it back into the Toronto zone. Bank pass up for Nyes. Nyes to the left wing side for Camp. He's going to rattle it in, but a change of players coming for Toronto. Robertson hustling after the puck, but it's played away from him and chipped high in the air at the blue line and bounced out at center ice, and Domi has to go back to take it away. Domi got it ahead, and now it is flipped in by Pacioretty, who is on this line with Robertson and Domi. So Craig Berube's been doing a little juggling act, hasn't he? Off a stick and into Islander territory. Leafs change again with 4:50 to play in the period, and they trail 3-2. Bank pass blocked at the blue line, but that will be an offside. And since Nylander decided to touch it, the linesman has decided to call it an intentional offside. That is Mark Shuchuk. Michel Cormier is the other linesman. Garrett Rank and Bo Halkitis are the referees. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
The Subaru winter has arrived. The crisp air and negative temperatures mean one thing: camping. Emerge from your icy tent and bask in 4 to 6 hours of sunlight. Enjoy the unmistakable smell of campfire through the glacial wind pummeling your face.
What's up, hockey fans? How we doing tonight? It's Hockey Night in Canada, the best night of the week. My favorite night ever to hang out with you guys and chat it up, having a good time, cheering on our buds while we take on the Islanders. All right, it's time. Please exit out of the chat, hit that like button down below, and share this link out so we can get more hockey fans and Leafs fans here hanging out with us on Toronto Sports Insider while we change the world, one insider at a time. And that sub counter keeps going up because we are live right now for the football game. We've been live all day. I'm tired. My goodness, but it's so worth it. Thank you guys. Go Leafs, go. Let's get the W tonight. We'll see you back in there.
Efficient econ mode and tons of cargo space, the 2025 Honda CR-V was made for winter adventures. But with heated front seats, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and a cozy interior, you may want to stay in its comforts a little bit longer. Lease the CR-V LX two-wheel drive from $99 weekly at 2.99% APR for 28 months with $2,100 down. But hurry, Honda Stretch Lease offers end January 2nd. OAC conditions apply. Includes $1,500 lease bonus. See HondaOntario.com.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
2 good saves, 3 good saves, another shot, 4 good saves made.
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
4 minutes and 40 seconds left to go.
Well, you mentioned Bo Halkitis, one of the referees tonight, son of longtime NHLer Bobby Halkitis. And Bobby played briefly for the Leafs in the early 90s. But had another storied career. Actually played with the Islanders as well. The Buffalo Sabres, LA Kings. Finished with Detroit and Tampa.
Nylander brings the puck to center, fires it in. Round on the boards, punched there by McCabe. It comes back to McCabe again. Back of the net now for Nylander. Nylander overskated it. Islanders with it again, but now Nylander steals. Tried to send it back to the net for David Kampf. That didn't work. Nyes coming out of the traffic. Got it back for Willie. Comes to the blue line, but the Islanders are going to force it out at center and play it in on the right side. Bo Horvat tried to drive, but then had to pull up and goes into the corner. Got a shot away, and that was stopped by Wall. Islanders back to the point. Pelech with a drive from the point is swallowed up by Joseph Wall. 20th shot on goal for the Islanders. 3:58 to go in the second. The Leafs have whittled away at the lead. It's a 3-2 advantage now for the New York Islanders.
And the Leafs of late have been more passive in their own zone. They almost go into that penalty kill defense. Everybody sort of stands still. And there we saw another one where the Islanders have control of the puck at the point. A lot of time and space to wait for somebody to get to the front of the net before firing it.
Draw one, and a shot from an angle is into the chest of Wall in a traffic jam in front of the Leaf goal.
Islanders, despite all their woes in some key categories, stats-wise, the National Hockey League came into the game first in the NHL in the face-off dot. Right now, they've won 50% of the draws in this game.
Leafs are what, fourth or fifth?
Leafs are fourth, yeah.
Puck off the draw, poke to the near boards. Lee in against the wall, a centering pass, knocked up on the boards by Toronto, but not cleared. Now back of the net for Tavares. He has some skating room, plays it up at center, but it was picked off in the air by Pajot and sent back in for Lee. Lee taken to the boards by Tanev. Riley unable to control the puck as it comes back to the point. Pelech gets it off on the wing and into the corner. Anders Lee with it there. Tavares now trying to get to the far side. John Tavares, of course, when the games are played on Long Island, gets the preferential boo treatment because he decided to leave there as a free agent. Now a lead pass for Bobby McMahon. McMahon gets it back of the net. Tavares stops it up, gets out of a crowd, comes with it with a bank pass to Timmins. To the D-to-D, it comes back to Timmins again. Shot in an angle, a shot blocked, big rebound in front of the net. But the Islanders are going to get to it. Oh, what a hit that was by Reeds as the puck comes to center ice, and then stepping into his man was Connor Timmins. But he actually got a pretty good hunk of Mr. Lorenz as well as Steven went down. Leafs get it into the offensive zone. Cizikas had his pocket picked as it comes around to the near side for Connor Timmins. Back of the net now for Lorenz. Lorenz off the boards trying to get it back to the blue line. Reeves had it knocked off his stick. And out come the Islanders to center, and they'll send a long bouncing shot in on Wall. You can watch that rather cautiously. And the puck in the Toronto zone fed ahead at center. Leafs are in need of a change. It'll be bought by Dewar, sending it down into the offensive end. He'll get a hit in as well as the Islanders try to work it up the boards on the near side. And Pacioretty gets it across the line. That looked like it might be offside, and I think it's being called here now.
I think the linesman was overruled, wasn't he?
Yeah.
It was the referee that had made the call. Pacioretty clearly had not cleared the zone before touching the puck. So the face-off coming just outside the New York Islander line. 1:52 to go here in the second period. Islanders, who led 2-0 early, 3-1 after one, lead 3-2 here late in the second.
Steven Lorenz was talking to the referee, kind of probably. Do you get paid extra for being the linesman, too?
Yeah.
Nylander sifts in over the line, flipped it in for Max Domi. That bounced away from him. Islanders play it off the wall to the right wing side, and New York brings it out at center with Brock Nelson. In across the line to the left wing side, and a shot by Palmieri was blocked. Islanders keeping it in. Palmieri taken to the boards by Pacioretty. Into the corner for Anthony Duclair. Duclair back of the net. Duclair chased, but it comes back to the point. D to the near side for Romanov. Into the slot area, knocked down by the Maple Leafs. Played up on the wing for Domi. Domi will get to the red line and push it in over the line. Now can't get along the boards any further. And the Islanders have it there. Less than a minute to go in the period, and an icing call coming here against New York. We'll have a face-off deep in Islander territory with 53.5 seconds to play in the second period. And as Jimmy mentioned, it is still 3-2 New York.
Shots on goal in the second period actually favoring the Islanders 14-9. But not a lot. Would you agree that you would consider high danger chances? But they're in a shoot from everywhere mode.
Yeah, the one save made by the pad of Joseph Wall in the period was a dandy. Leafs keeping the puck in on the right side. Tanev misfires on his feed looking for Tavares. And the Islanders get it out and down the ice. And another icing with 33.2 seconds to play.
I do like that they, and we were talking to Butch Goring down in the media room before the game. I like the fact the Islanders have gone back to the old jerseys. They've had a number of different designs over the years.
The Fisherman was the worst.
Yeah.
That was horrible. God, that was awful.
And I know we've mentioned this before, and I think it's true. They say your favorite jersey was the one you grew up with.
Yep.
So whatever team wore that jersey in those formative years,
yes, exactly,
become ingrained.
Draw to the right of Ilya Sorokin. Tavares leaning in, and the draw scrum, but the Islanders control. Nylander gets in on the forecheck back of the net. It's drawing a crowd. Willie comes out with it. Tries to center in front. He did. Tavares had a chance, and now a backhand doesn't work. Nylander with it again. 18 seconds left in the period. And Marner couldn't come up with it as they put the three big boys out on the line here to finish the period. Brought on by Morgan Riley. 5 seconds left. Riley will get it in over the line, but it's knocked away. And as it's launched to center ice, the horn brings an end to the period. Just the one goal. Nylander's second of the contest is 23rd from Camp and Nyes at 5:43, and it is a 3-2 Islander lead taken to the dressing room.
At least I thought were better in the second period than they were in the opening 20 minutes. But we will see if they can complete the comeback here in the third period.
So it is a 3-2 Islander lead, and we have got Ailish Forfire and Justin Cuthbert coming along. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Sirius XM presents an MLB.
Well,
Talk to the people. Say something.
Hi.
What's up, Insiders? It's my boy Tom. He's a little shy here with coming on screen. End of the second period. Leafs down 3-2. Tom came down here. He goes, "Hey Dad, did the game start yet?" And I'm like, "Yeah, game started. It's at the end of the second period." We have 832 people hanging out with us and 593 likes. Hit that like button down below, and a huge shout out to Andrew Hurd, my man. Andrew, cheers.
5
Thank
memberships.
you. Gifted 5 memberships to Ryan, Space Cowboy, Paul Taylor, Chaos Queen, and Lance Mullen. Welcome to the club. Thank you, Andrew. That is huge. And Ryan is actually an original SOP from my soccer channel, a big Toronto sports fan. Big Leafs fan. He said he comes over here and listens to some of the games, but he misses my play-by-play for the TFC games back on SOP. Tom remembers that very clearly. We're going to be getting back and doing all the TFC games live here on TSI. And, you know, I'll send people over to my soccer channel as well. I can't wait to tell Ryan in the morning for Manchester United when we're live for that one against Bournemouth. When this guy, what are you going to be doing when Bournemouth and Manchester United are playing?
I'm going to be playing futsal.
Playing futsal. And we're probably going to try out these new cool mics that have like the magnet back end. It's really cool. All right. Talk to the people, Tom. Tell them what you want to tell them.
And earlier, I also watched the Arsenal against Crystal Palace game.
Who won?
I didn't watch the full thing, but I'm pretty sure. I didn't even see the first goal because we had to leave. But it was, I think, Arsenal won. But
Okay. All right, well, thanks for coming on and hanging out with us here for the intermission. Time to get to the intermission report. We'll let that run. My apologies for not being in the chat as much as usual, but we are having absolutely insane amounts of people watch the Tennessee-Ohio State game, which is a complete blowout. 21-0 Ohio State. 5,500 people hanging out with us over there. I got to go run the Hey You sub, and let's make this sub counter go crazy on there. Cheers, everybody. We'll see you back in the chat. Time for the comeback. Let's get the chant going in the chat. Go, Leafs, go.
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 Happy Hockey Night in Canada, everybody.
Now, with more matches featuring soccer's most iconic clubs as they battle it out for European supremacy.
What a start for Inter! Haaland scores the hat-trick!
From the league phase to the final, the Champions League is on Sirius XM FC 157 and the all-new Sirius XM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
A Leafs Radio Network.
And now the diligence of Nyes pays off. He comes away with the loose puck in front of the net. Backhand pass in front. They score! Holy mackerel, what a goal! Willie Nylander ends up getting it, but what a play in front of the net by David Kampf. Did it go off of an Islander player and not Nylander?
Welcome back to Most of the Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network. Ailish Forfar and Justin Cuthbert for your intermissions as a 3-2 lead. Still holding on there for the New York Islanders, but William Nylander adding his second of the game for the Maple Leafs.
Yeah, hot on the heels of Leon Draisaitl for the goals lead in the NHL. Yeah, great Nylander night so far. A better period for the Toronto Maple Leafs for sure, crawling back to within one. It's amazing. It's not as though the Maple Leafs are the most high-powered offense in the world these days. A little bit different under Craig Berube than it was under Sheldon Keefe, but they can have a disastrous first period. Yeah. They can win a second period, and they're right back in this game with a chance to win in the third after some lineup changes for Craig Berube.
Yes, okay, so we were trying to predict that there would be lineup changes. Were they immediate? I think they kind of came
there was an immediate change, and then there was a secondary change.
All right, walk us through the changes.
So the immediate change was pretty simple. It was just Marner and Nylander switching positions.
Before.
We theorized that Mitch Marner may need a bit of help in order to be his best self on a top line that suddenly included David Kampf. So instead they put Nylander with Kampf, and there's a little bit more familiarity there. So Kampf was playing with Nylander and Nyes, and of course they produced the goal that we came back with, which left Marner with Tavares and Pacioretty initially, but that switched to Pacioretty McMahon switch, so we actually saw a third line change, but it wasn't immediate. So changes to all three top lines, and eventually a change to that third line that Craig Berube wanted to stick with initially, but did end up altering by about the midway point of that period.
We call that the old blender, the old Sheldon Keefe.
Yep, blender was out.
He may have left one there in the coach's room just for use of in case of emergency. But I think it was needed. Like, it was a pretty lackluster first period, as we mentioned. The second didn't start, too hot. And without Willie Nylander, it's a 3-0 lead for the Islanders. So try to find something to make it happen. I am still a fan of trying to give that third line the runway it deserves in a sense, because we've talked about a lack of goal-scoring depth when Domi and Robertson weren't able to find any production. And then you just had a week where they were vibing, they're feeling good about themselves, and they're getting on the score sheet. So I want to see if that ends up meaning something for the Maple Leafs. But I think just Nylander being the story so far for the Maple Leafs, a guy that is, as you mentioned, only 1 goal behind Leon Draisaitl in the goal-scoring race, on pace for more than 55 goals. This is what they're going to need. They're going to need Willie to be red hot if Austin Matthews is out for an extended period of time. Even if he's not out for an extended period of time, this is great news that Willie's feeling himself. And Jim Ralph, told me before I sat down to take his warm headset off his head, that Willie...
Tell us more.
It's a hot headset. We do a quick change here as behind the scenes, and you put on Bonesies. Actually, you don't, not today, but
not
usually
today,
you put on Bonesies, and I put on Ralphie's, and they're warm.
Yep.
A lot of brain power.
The human body does emit heat.
They're hot.
When functioning properly.
Hot ears.
What did he tell you?
He told me that William Nylander only has 1 career hat trick.
Wow.
Which is shocking, because when he said how many do you think he has, I thought, well, he either has none or he has like 12. And just one career hat trick. So you know that he's sitting in there thinking, I only have 1 career hat trick and I want another one. So I wouldn't be surprised if he's coming out guns blazing in the third.
Yeah, he may have to. I think, we've joked about the blender and whatever, but the rationale for at least putting Nylander with Camp makes a lot of sense, because if we've learned anything about William Nylander, is that he will produce regardless of who he's playing with, right? He could be on the first line, he could be on the second line, he could be on the third line. He can pretty much play with anyone and drive his own success. Some other guys are a little bit more environment dependent, so putting him with Camp, who may not necessarily put it on a tee for him routinely or make the creative play, I think it makes a lot of sense to have Tavares and Marner play together to get something out of that partnership, and to just let Nylander freelance. And so far that freelancing mode has put Nylander in a position to be on his second hat trick of his career.
All right, let's take a quick break. We'll come back on the other side, give you the out-of-town scoreboard on a busy Saturday night, a little hockey night in Canada action going on, and get you set for the third period. It's a 3-2 lead for the Islanders after 40. You're listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
NHLShop.ca, the official online store of the National Hockey League, and Canada's largest selection of officially licensed NHL fan gear, with unique one-of-a-kind designs by Fanatics, and all the latest styles for every NHL team. Don't miss out. Shop now and get today's special offer. NHLShop.ca, a Fanatics experience.
From the biggest stadiums to the coziest holes in the wall. From house parties to porch hangs to pride celebrations.
What's up, insiders? I had to sit down. I am exhausted. It's been a hell of a day. All right, we're ready. Are we ready for the third period? Who's ready for the third period? As I look way up at the camera up there, because I prefer it when I'm standing up, but it's just been too long of a day. Started this morning, woke up for some reason, the whole house, 5 out of the 6 of us were up at lovely 5:10 a.m. So crazy day of streams. The Tennessee-Ohio State game is just popping like crazy, just about to pass 100,000 views over there, and it's not even the end of the first quarter, and it's a complete blowout. So great night here on Toronto Sports Insider. Thank you, Pickleball Pat. Thank you, Z Derby. Thank you, Roboto, David Little, Johan Yotun, Veronica Miss V, Brad Smith, Andrew Hurd. Nothing is perfect. What's up, man? Dude, go check out that channel right now. I need to get the link up and pin this thing because, dude, go if you like hockey, you're gonna love Russell's content over at Nothing Is Perfect, Nothing with a Zero, Canucks, every single game, Vancouver Canucks. Go check it out. And yes, Russell, dude, thanks for hopping in, man. Yes, we got to work something out for January 11th. But it's going to be nuts because we're going to be live for every single game of the NFL playoffs as well. And that day there's 3 games, 3 wildcard games, plus the Leafs, plus the Raptors. So it's going to be very, very interesting indeed. But we'll work something out, dude. Let's get back to the intermission report. Let's have a good third period, please. Come on, buds. Let's get a goal. Let's tie this thing up. Let's send the fans at Scotiabank into oblivion. And let's get started. Fire up that chat. Go Leafs, go. Go refill those cocktails. And we'll see you back in the chat.
Full-time all-wheel drive and advanced safety systems. Your holiday bonus awaits. Visit your local Subaru dealer for details.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Hockey fans, how are we doing tonight? It's Hockey Night in Canada.
Welcome back into Most Leafs Hockey, Sportsnet 590 The Fan, Maple Leafs Radio Network, a 3-2 lead for the Islanders after 40 minutes here at Scotiabank Arena. It's a busy night in the NHL, so let's take a look at the out-of-town scoreboard. The NHL scoreboard presented by Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 19 plus, Ontario only. Play responsibly. Visit connexontario.ca.
Some good staggered afternoon hockey today produced 3 results. The Predators beat the Kings 3-2 in overtime. The Oilers also beat the Sharks 3-2 in overtime, while the Flames got a 6-4 victory over the Chicago Blackhawks. 5 other games ongoing now, including, or not including, the Islanders and Maple Leafs. Blue Jackets up 2-0 end of 2 on the Flyers. Canadians have a 5-1 lead on the Detroit Red Wings, who are not very good. The Devils have a 1-0 lead over the Penguins, just starting the third period. 1-1 Sabres and Bruins. And the Jets have a 3-0 lead over the Wild, end of 2. Still to come tonight, Kraken and Golden Knights, Senators, and Canucks.
All right, about 2 minutes here until we take a break. I think this crowd wants a little... It's a holiday game tonight, which I didn't really realize.
Yeah, are you picking up on some festive
I'm picking up every single music that is played at every break is holiday music. But I thought it would be Monday, and then I realized Monday's next gen. So tonight is holiday night. So I think the fans want a big, old, fat goal under the tree.
Yeah. What about one from William Nylander?
That, and then they're conflicted. Do I throw my hat? I might not need that.
Well, you probably don't need the Santa hat for very much longer, so that could work. William Nylander, a note from Josh Clipperton of the Canadian Press. 1 career hat trick, as you mentioned, but I'll expand on it a little bit via Josh. 32 2-goal games heading into the third period.
Tough.
He's been into the third period with 2 goals 32 times and only once got the goal.
Poor guy.
That's a pretty poor conversion rate. Let's see if he can improve on it.
Let's manifest for the holidays. I have William Nylander goal in the next 20 minutes. Just to make everyone happy, to bring some holiday cheer. You in?
Why not? Let's do it.
All right, we'll take a quick break. On the other side, Joe Bowen and Jim Ralph will have the call of the third period next. You're listening to Most Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan, the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Hey everybody, it's Conan O'Brien, and guess what? I've got my own channel, Conan O'Brien Radio, here on SiriusXM. Tune in to channel 104 for exclusive interviews with your favorite celebrities, hilarious moments from all my TV shows, showcasing some of the most absurd and hilarious moments from my decades on television, and episodes from Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend podcast and Andy Richter's weekly call-in show. Don't miss out. Conan O'Brien Radio, channel 104, or anytime on the SiriusXM app.
The biggest
Christy Yant, welcome to Insider. Thanks for joining up. Welcome to the club, Christy. Let's see those emojis. All right, time for Jelly's video to run. Let's get fired up for the third period. I'm getting fired up. Let's go.
They're going to the second round. Do you believe this? Holy Mackinac! Point taken. 2-0 Toronto. 2-on-1. Minor in over the line looking for Tavares.
Thank you for finding us. Thank you for sharing out the link and bringing more hockey fans to our awesome community here on TSI. And let's get back to the hockey. Go Leafs, go! Let's tear them up.
Game on his stick. Scores! changing the world, one insider at a time. We'll see you in the chat. And holy Mackinac, go Leafs go. Leafs trail 3-2 as we head to the third period against the New York Islanders in a rarity that there has not been a single penalty called in the contest. And as you mentioned, it has worked very well as far as the Islanders are concerned because their special teams are nothing short of atrocious.
Not special. No, let's put it that way. No, dead last in both power play and on the penalty kill.
One of the things, though, Maple Leafs have been 112 times shorthanded this year.
I know.
And the Islanders 70. 70. That's 42. Hey,
what a difference.
Nice going. You get the same number I did.
We have the same calculator app on our phone.
You can put your shoes back on now. I think we've got it. We've got it cornered.
Yeah, please send your questions along. Any additions, subtraction questions, give us a week and we'll be happy to answer them for you.
And it was funny because I was just doing my homework and you go down the roster and I looked over at penalty minutes and I thought, there's no one got more than like 10 or whatever. Yeah. Then I looked at the Leafs one and you got guys with 20 and 30 and whatnot. Yep. I said, that doesn't sound like the Islander teams of old. When Clutterbuck, Martin, and Cizikas were parading around running people. Puck is dropped. We're underway with the third period. Islanders to the left, Leafs to the right. Played down into the Toronto zone. Tanev back of the goal, punches it around the wall, but it was blocked. Nylander has it in his skates. Plays to an open wing, and unable to get to it was Morgan Rielly before the Islanders chip it back into the Toronto zone. Rielly playing it up on the wing, and it'll come out at center. And now a 2-on-1. Here's David Kampin over the line on the right wing side. Willie! And he fanned on the shot as he tries to get the puck free. Back of the net. Camp tried to play it in front, but was too well covered. Camp against the boards around back of the net. Plays it around the wall. It'll come back to McCabe for Nylander, and then the pass comes out at center ice. Benoit waits for teammates to get onside before bringing it in. Drops for Nylander. He has both Toronto goals. Back in behind the net for Tavares, coming out in front, and it was knocked away by Pajot. McMahon steals it back. Back of the net and into the corner for Marner. Marner curling out with a shot. Hit a leg in front. Islanders get it out at center and now bring it in with Pajot on the left wing. He works into the slot area. Marner was able to tip it free, but it comes back in the slot for Anders Lee. A shot. That was stopped by Joseph Wall. Long alley-oop at center. McMahon works in off the right wing. One man back. Has to go around back of the goal. Stops up. Triple teamed in there. And he lost the puck, and now the Islanders will get it out at center. Barzal in across the line, right wing side. Drops it back to the blue line. It's a delayed offside. And now Domi tries to push it in over the line and had it knocked away. That should be offside. See, I'm very good from up here. I could tell that was offside before the linesman even got the whistle to his mouth.
Well, I thought maybe Anders Lee was the one that knocked it back into his own end. So you were a step ahead of me. Well, that would have negated it, but it was deemed at max by Chiaretti.
Not surprising.
No, I was asking my son the other day. I said, I'm going to send Colby Armstrong a text because I saw a commercial and he wasn't in it. I want to make sure he's okay.
Well, you know, that's the type of person you are. You're very conscientious and caring.
I love the Iron Dog.
Yeah, back of the net. It goes into the corner in the Islander zone. Tavares chipped it along the boards. Timmins pinched, but it went by him, but the Leafs are able to keep it in. Back of the net for Robertson. Robertson swinging in front of the net, and Domi just failed to redirect. Islanders come back into center ice, counter-attacking with Palmieri. Got a shot from a sharp angle. Stopped there on the short side by Wall. Hooked back in the far corner. Robertson Looks for an outlet, finds Jake McCabe. Leafs are changing. Played ahead for Connor Dewar. Dewar's working to the right wing side, banks it off the boards and into the far corner. Along the boards, Dewar couldn't keep it in though. Islanders get it to the line, not out. Kept alive now along into the corner by Lorenz. In goes Reeves with a hit there on Pelech. The puck into the side of the net. Back around the boards, it'll go to Tanev at the right point. Defenseman for the Leafs gets it in on the end boards. Lorenz couldn't come up with it. Dewar makes a play to keep the puck in for Reeves. Centering pass. That was deflected into the near corner. Good shift here from the Leafs' fourth line. They've had a couple of good hits and managed to keep the puck in the offensive zone. Cizikas will flip it back now, and the Leafs have to go back into their own end. Riley bringing it out. Nylander on the left wing for Nyes. Back in for Riley. Riley centers, and it was deflected by Nylander back of the goal. Camp gets it back to him. Nylander a centering pass. Knocked down by Riley. It trickled through the blue paint. No one can get a stick on it. Camp back of the net. Banks it back for Benoit. Benoit's not going to be able to keep it in, and it's brought in over the line by Siplikov. He has it spun around off his stick, and it's back out into center ice territory. 15:52 to go in the third. Leafs trailing 3-2. Up on the left wing now for Benoit. Played to the line by Marner. Into the corner, he plays it along the boards and now chips it in front of the net. It comes back off a stick, but it's intercepted and brought through center ice by Pajot. Pajot driving, shot it high and wide of the Leaf goal. Kept in by Barzal of the Islanders. Thought the referee's arm almost went up for a penalty there, but he might have just been stretching.
I think the Islanders might have caught the puck with a high stick.
Far side now, and a pass into the slot. Pajot! Oh, and Anders Lee had his stick lifted as he had a 4x6 empty net if he makes any contact with it at all.
It was John Tavares that was able to just knock it away.
Tanev gets it up on the boards, but the Islanders are able to keep it in. Back of the net. McCabe unable to trap it. Islanders go D to D with it with a long shot wide of the goal. Islanders curling out of the corner and getting it back into the slot again off the goalpost. No, they score. It came out of the net very quickly. But New York has restored a 2-goal lead again. And that is Isaiah George, and it may be his first goal in the NHL.
This was just a wrist shot from the top of the left wing corner. Might have been some traffic in front. To just go off somebody. Doesn't matter. They're taking the puck to the Islander bench, so George is going to get credit for it. And we're taking one lower look. Does this go off Chris Tanev in front, or just
20th game in the NHL?
Yes. Yeah, it goes off the inside of the left leg of Chris Tanev and then down and through Joseph Wall.
3 assists in those games. And the first pick, 98th overall in the 2022 draft, has his first NHL goal, and it's a big one as the Islanders have restored for the third time a 2-goal lead.
I find the Leafs are giving up way too much time and space from the points. You know, we even saw that a couple of goals that were called back last night in Buffalo.
14:27 to go in the third. And George makes it a 2-goal lead as well. It's 4-2. And the Leafs' winning ways are in jeopardy here.
Well, Isaiah George, an Oakville native.
Played down into the corner.
How's that for making your first even more special?
Yeah, I'm sure that there's a few tickets that were purchased that will be fairly pleased with all of that.
The Memorial Cup with the London Knights last year.
Around back of the net now, the Leafs trying to break it out. Ekman Larsson for Tanev. He got tangled up there with Bo Horvat, and it's down into the Toronto zone, and Marner unable to trap it. Swept around by Siplikov. And the Leafs trying to get it up on the wing to Bobby McMahon, and they do. Tavares will carry through center. Diagonal shooting into the right wing corner. Marner got there and has it in his skates, but can't do much with it there as he's double teamed. Islanders play it around back of the net. McMahon got to it. Marner unable to find it, and the Islanders break it out at center. Going wide is Siplikov. Taken to the boards by Benoit. Marner after it in the far boards, tried to dig it off a stick. Then a stolen puck, and now the Islanders down low and a centering pass, and it was whipped just wide of the goal. Leafs are able to play it out at center, and Tavares won't get to it. Islanders back in their own zone. Brought on at center now by Barzal. He works in over the line, right wing side for Pajot, and the bouncing puck wouldn't behave for him. Back to the point, Dobson goes D to D, and a pass into the corner. Pajot centers. Barzal with a shot, smothered by Wall. 12:28 to go, and the Leafs hill is a lot higher now, with a 2-goal lead restored by the New York Islanders. It's 4-2. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Dashing through the field on Channel 8.
What's up, hockey fans? Thank you, insiders, for being here. Thank you for hanging out with us during Hockey Night in Canada, the best night of the week. We're doing something special with these college football playoffs. Man, the insiders asked for me to do the games, and what a difference it's going to make with SickKids. We already had a great first game, and we're live right now, so please make sure you stop by that live right now and hit that like button over there so that it can get a little bit bigger and get more thousands of people in the chat so that we can give more money to SickKids Hospital like we do every single month with our revenue share with SickKids. Now let's get back to the hockey. Go Leafs, go! Let's get the victory tonight over the Islanders. It's always good when the Isles and the Leafs tangle with Johnny Tavares, former captain of both squads. Go Leafs, go! We'll see you back in the chat.
UEFA Champions League is back on Sirius XM FC, and this year it's bigger than ever.
Absolutely ridiculous from Real Madrid. Merseyside magic from Mo Salah.
Now with more matches featuring soccer's most iconic clubs as they battle it out for European supremacy.
What a start for Inter! Haaland scores the hat-trick!
From the league phase to the final, the Champions League is on Sirius XM FC 157 and the all-new Sirius XM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
Leafs Radio Network.
Leafs 3-game winning streak in jeopardy here with 12:28 to play in the third and down 4-2.
Well, the Islanders have not had a 3-game winning streak all season, so they haven't been able to get any kind of traction. But hopefully, with Barzal back, declare his first game back for the Islanders tonight. That offense will help them out. I've always liked Sorokin as one of the best in the league. Not a big guy, but very...
Technically very good and very
quick. Yep.
Point shot deflects just wide of the Leaf goal. Ekman Larsson near boards. Alley-oop in over the line, knocked down here by Reeves. Never mind. Oh, I thought it was going to be whistled down offside, but play went on. Shot deflects wide of the goal. Now in the corner, Dewar trying to work back. Now tried to jam it out in front of the net. That didn't work. And the Islanders will try to work up on the right wing and do. Barzal, left wing pass for Lee on the corner boards. It's sent around to the near side and back to the point. A shot. Pad save and a good one made there by Wall. Puck is free in the goal crease area. Leafs are going to get rid of it and bounce it out and down the ice. And this is just going to have enough to go for icing.
Boy, if that's 5 minutes more into the period, it stops.
Yeah.
I mean, that was, what 4 inches over the goal line. Face-off coming back into the Leaf zone, and it looks to be to the right of Joseph Wall. On the breakaways Ryan Reeves has had, but boy, he did a pretty good job to knock it down. But I think just as he goes to release it, Dobson gets stick on stick from behind.
Puck seemed to roll a little bit too.
Yeah. And he was in pretty tight on Sorokin by the time he had it settled down.
Off the boards by Ekman Larsson to the line and out. Dewar got it to Lorenz, and Steven Lorenz sends it deep, and then off to the bench he goes, and a change of players. Nylander back out there with David Camp, and an errant pass is going to be called on an offside, and it's coming back into the center ice area with 11:10 to play in the third period.
Last Saturday game before the Christmas break. I imagine Mondays might be a little louder.
There will be a lot of youngsters in here, I know that. I know my two of my grandkids are coming, which will be fun. Brooklyn and Caleb. They're about as loud as their dads, so that...
What about Grandpa?
Yeah, same idea. Along the boards into the offensive zone, Islanders get it back to the point. Shot by Pelech wide of the net, near corner. Timmins unable to get to it. Islanders haven't played since Tuesday, so they're a little fresher than the Maple Leafs, who are into their back-to-back situation. And now Nyes through center and launches it into the left wing corner. Tries to get in there with a hit. Did, but the puck goes around to an open wing. And Anthony Duclair is there to get it to the line, and just out. Now Nyes brings it right back in again. Round the boards it'll go to Tavares. He doesn't handle the puck cleanly, and the Islanders launch it down into the Toronto end. Both teams are changing. Benoit dropping it off. Jake McCabe up on the right side now for McMahon. Bobby McMahon driving the net. Tried to bring it to the front of the goal, but was ridden in back of the net on a good defensive play there by Alex Romanov. Back come the Islanders, leading 4-2. A pass in the slot and a deflection, and then a rebound shot stopped by Wall as well. To the point, Dobson plays it down into the corner and back of the net. Too far for Bo Horvat. He gets to it though on the far side, and then a hit from behind without a call. Still haven't had a penalty called in the game. Islanders with it in the offensive zone. Centering pass. Knocked down by Holmstrom. Back to the point. A shot and scoring. Islanders are up 3 with 9:24. And a number of the folks are starting to head to the exits.
Boy, what a redirection this is. Bo Horvat is going to get the goal. This is a shot from the right point from Dobson. And this is going about 10 feet wide. And Bo Horvat is able to redirect it with his back to the Leaf net. But he's in the face-off dot to the left of Wall. I mean, this is...
going well wide.
Yeah. Nothing that Joseph Wall can do on this. I mean, this is a crafty redirection. And the Islanders comfortably ahead 3 now. In the third period, a little over 19 minutes to go. 5-2 Islanders.
Shot kicked away by Wall. Zizekas gets it around back of the net. Bashing in there. And you can just feel the Leafs, well, obviously now down 3. There's not an awful lot of gas in the tank. Back to the point. Pelech with a shot in traffic. That's deflected wide of the Leaf goal. Zizekas after it. Domi got it freed up and kicked ahead for Robertson. He'll just get it into neutral ice. Pacioretty couldn't do much more with it. Austin Matthews not in the lineup tonight. Injured in the game in Buffalo. I'm not so sure it wasn't the cross-check that he took from behind that was not penalized.
Well, what I don't like about it being shown so often, hey, rest of the world, guess where it is?
Yeah.
Guess where that spot is that the Leafs have been able to keep quiet. I mean, obviously, there's a cross-check, and there is an area in the pants, sort of above the hip, around the waist, that there is a spot you can go after somebody. But that was lower body, too, was it? Would you not consider more lower body than upper?
Maybe, yeah.
Lower back.
Draw one by Toronto, and a shot by Timmins went wide of the goal. Lee will get it out at center. And the scrum is on the far boards there as the puck is wedged up on the wall. And finally, Lorenz trying to get it in over the line, and that failed to connect with anybody. And the Islanders, full marks for their lead here, play it down into the Toronto zone.
Shots on goal in the third here, Joe. 12-1 for the Islanders.
Little tough to make up a 2-goal deficit when you only get one shot. Shot into the Toronto end. Morgan Riley back to recover the puck. Ahead for Nyes. Nyes in on the left wing. Stops up. Tees it up for Riley. Shot goes off a leg. It'll bound to the right wing side. Kept in at the point there by Tanev. He plays it in along the boards, and Anthony Duclair now gets it out at center ice, and it is brought in over the line by the Islanders into the slot, and a wrist shot wide. The rebound knocked high in the air off the stick of Brock Nelson. Tanev starts back. Nyes takes his pass. Works in over the line with Nylander. Puck in around back of the net. Willie trying to get it freed up there for Nyes. Did so now for the Leafs camp. A shot from the point by Benoit was deflected wide. Islanders get it back out at center ice. Benoit's pass, though, knocked out of the air. He runs into Siplikov without much damage being done. Puck kept in by New York, trying to slip it in front of the goal. Around back of the net, Wall swimming as he gets back into the crease. And the Islanders get it back into the center ice area on a misplay at the blue line. Right back into the Toronto zone, a shot, and that was knocked wide as Siplikov let it go. And now a loose puck in front of the Leaf net, taken to safety by McCabe. Played ahead for Bobby McMahon. McMahon in on the left wing, stops up at the half boards, tried to slip it in there for Tavares without success. Islanders back with it with 6:17 to play here in the third period. 5-2 New York. Here's a chance for McMahon, though, and he scores.
This is a great play by Jake McCabe at the Islander blue line. The Islanders look like they clear it, but Jake McCabe, not only does he keep it in, he one-times the puck into the slot onto the stick of Mitch Marner, who spins and fires it to his left onto the tape of Bobby McMahon. And Bobby McMahon stays red hot and makes this a 5-3 game with 6:11 to go. But Jake McCabe, I mean, to be able to chop this puck right back into the Islanders zone and have it skip to Mitch Marner, and Mitch Marner another primary assist on the great feed to Bobby McMahon.
Sixth leading scorer on the Leafs team with his 9th goal of the season. Sharp angle shot, stopped, and a rebound is caught by Sorokin. Well, with 5:57 to go, you never know. But there'll be a timeout to discuss it as the Leafs are back within a pair. You're listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
The Subaru winter has arrived. The crisp air and negative temperatures mean one thing.
Hey you, the insider, the subscriber that's been here for however long. Whether you just joined up tonight or you're hitting the subscribe button and turn on that bell right now, or you've been here for such a long time like so many of you in the chat, the bees, so many of, oh my goodness, I love it on the hockey nights. Seeing all of you here in the chat, ladies and gentlemen, much appreciated. And this one, forget about hit that subscribe button and try and make that sub counter go up, because it's going up like crazy as it is. And you guys rock. This is where it started. Toronto Maple Leafs hockey, doing every single game live, and look at what it's turned into. Because of you, because of this community. So thank you for being an insider. Now let's get back to the hockey. Go Leafs go. Let's get the win here on Saturday night.
Visit connectsontario.ca.
With a turbocharged engine, fuel-efficient econ mode, and tons of cargo space, the 2025 Honda CR-V was made for winter adventures. But with heated front seats, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and a cozy interior, you may want to stay in its comforts a little bit longer. Lease the CR-V LX two-wheel drive from $99 weekly at 2.99% APR for 28 months with $2,100 down. But hurry, Honda Stretch Lease offers end January 2nd. OAC conditions apply. Includes $1,500 lease bonus. See HondaOntario.com.
You're listening to Toronto Maple Leafs hockey.
They score! Holy mackerel, they score!
On Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network.
Last 16 games, the Leafs have done pretty well. They're 12-4. They have a 3-game winning streak on the line here tonight, but have fallen behind on a number of occasions. 2-0 in the first period, 3-1 later on in that period. Then 4-2 early in the third, then 5-2. But a goal here by Bobby McMahon has at least given them a shot. Down a pair with 5:51 to play. Kept in by
assistant number 16.
the Leafs, and then neither team wanted to play it as it was a glove pass, and finally blown dead by the linesman. And Islanders now are forced to take a face-off back in their own end of the rink.
At 13:49.
Pajot will face off here with Nylander. Nylander, Domi, and Nyes, the forward line for the Maple Leafs. Nylander got the puck free. Domi takes it around back of the net. Chips it back for Nylander. Nylander playing it back in front of the goal. It comes into the slot. No shot yet. Brought on by Oliver Ekman-Larsson. Back it goes to Nylander. Nylander to the right wing side. And a one-timer drill there went off the side of the goal. It comes in front. Domi tried to stuff it in. And the Islanders backhanded high down into the Leaf end. Pajot gets to it. Islanders up against the boards in the Toronto end. Dug out by Domi. Played to an open wing, but Ekman-Larsson can't get to it in time. And it's around back of the net now with both teams changing. Riley will wait for teammates to get into position. Marner over the boards, along with Tavares. Long lead pass sent in wide of the goal. Marner got there first. Oh, and a big pad save made by Sorokin. That was well timed by Morgan Riley, wasn't it?
Yeah, and Mitch Marner read the play. I mean, he started from almost his own blue line. Took off for the far end and played it perfectly to carry him off the backboards. And Ilya Sorokin had to be sharp. Actually, a couple of saves now by Sorokin. A pretty good right pad save off Max Domi from in tight.
Defenseman Ryan Pulock lost his stick, and that's what gave Domi the opportunity. Goaltender Wall to the bench. Leafs going with 6 attackers, down a pair with 4:45 to play.
The guy that started the early pulling of the goaltenders
is on the other bench. Yeah. That's true, isn't it?
Yep.
Take a goaltender to figure that out.
Yeah.
I'm probably not going to score the game-tying goal. I should get out of here. Tavares will take the draw for Toronto and wins it cleanly. Nylander works the blue line. Feathered in, and it deflected over top of the goal. Marner back of the net. Kicks it free, but can't get it in front, but it comes back to Morgan Riley into the corner to Marner. Marner, cross-ice pass, trying to get a shot away. Comes back to the point of drive. Oh, and it bounced over the stick of Tavares, and now it is shot down the ice, and Morgan Riley shows you some giddy-up. He had to come a long way to beat Anthony Duclair in the foot race to gain an icing, and Morgan Riley probably needs to be exchanged.
Anthony Duclair has got pretty good wheels too. It's not often you get exciting icing calls, but you had one at both ends. Mitch Marner beats one out at one end.
Thank you, Mr. Alva. Yeah. I do my best to make it as exciting as I can.
You could work on the whole goal call thing.
Yeah,
That'd be great. And
why don't you suggest this to David on Monday, would you?
And some of your offsides are...
Well... Leafs win the draw. Here's Nylander off the boards for Marner. Marner works to the half boards, works in, rang it off the goal post. It comes back to the point. Ekman Larson, far side Nylander, slot area for Marner. Back to Nylander, far half boards, closing now. Went to the side of the net but couldn't get a shot away. Pounded off the boards, it won't clear. Kept in at the blue line. Off to Tavares. Tavares with a shot, and it goes off a skate and comes to center ice. Leafs back in their own zone. Tavares up on the left wing for Knies. Knies ringing the boards on the far side. Domi lifted the stick to keep it in. Comes around the boards to the near wing. Nylander pinches on the boards. 3:36 to play. Net empty. 6 attackers on the ice for Toronto. Pass in front of the goal. Oh, and Domi was robbed with a pad of Sorokin. Leafs buzzing. Here's Nylander trying to center, and it was knocked into the corner. Tavares settling the puck. Still has it on the near boards. Into the corner for Willie. Nylander curling out. Back to the point it goes. Marner walks the line. Marner to Nylander with a one-timer and a pad saved by Sorokin. Nylander with it again. Top of the circles in middle of the ice. Still with it. Tried to get a shot away. Intercepted by the Islanders. Launched towards the empty net. It's wide. Icing waved off though. Marner couldn't catch him. Now he gets it ahead for Knies. Knies turning back in his own zone. Marner, after that long race, is still out there, and he makes a nifty move to gain the zone. Another move into the corner. Centers it, and it comes off a stick to the near boards. Robertson around the wall. Marner still on the ice. Back of the net, it goes to Robertson. Back to the point to Riley with 2:29 to play. D to D and a wrist shot blocked. Islanders steal. Now it's brought out by Barzal with an empty net, and he scores.
Jake McCabe tried to force it through the middle. It got picked off, and Barzal's first goal. He's coming back from an injury. Has seemingly put it away. 21 games he missed. This is only his third game back. And Barzal has put the Islanders on top by a count of 6-3.
Third goal overall on the season.
And he liked to push. I mean, the big problem Craig Berube had next was who to throw out. Because they'd already used their timeout in the first period.
Played into the corner. And down in the Leaf end of the rink. Played off the boards to center ice, and under 2 minutes to play in the game. Dewar for Reeves. Played into the Islander zone. Lorenz after the loose puck, but the Islanders come away with it, but they steal it back to the Leafs. Off on the wing, and a drive by Lorenz was stopped there by Sorokin. He didn't have an awful lot to do. You mentioned just the one shot on goal, but once the Leafs got going there, he made about 3 real tough saves to make sure it didn't get any closer.
And no iffy goals against either, right?
No.
Sometimes that's just as important.
Icing coming here against New York.
16 to go, so the Leafs will finish out pre-Christmas schedule. Monday afternoon, 2 o'clock start against the Winnipeg Jets.
The Leafs, of course, stopped the winning streak that the Jets had at the start of the season.
Yeah, by the longest time, the Leafs were the only team that had defeated Winnipeg.
Yep.
Leafs have a pretty good record against the Jets. This will be 5 straight losses
to the
New York Islanders.
Yes.
Just so bizarre, isn't it? How one team seems to have, and the Leafs have had great numbers against Dallas.
And how about Arizona Coyotes?
Oh, thank God.
They're out. Yeah, they moved to Utah.
They?
Thank goodness.
At least the Leafs beat Utah this year.
Yes.
Kept waiting for somebody to pull the Utah Hockey Club jersey off and show an Arizona Coyote.
Oh, that would have scared everybody.
Yeah.
Less than a minute to play. Lorenz back in his own zone. And the pass ahead on the wing for Connor Dewar. Long shoot in. Sorokin steers that aside easily. Kept in at the blue line by Toronto. In front, backhand by Reeves didn't work. Lorenz with a shot, knocked down by Barzal. Lorenz gets it again, back to the point to Riley. His shot, pad saving a good one there. Rebound in front of the net. Dewar couldn't come up with it. If he'd have got it on his stick, he probably had himself a goal. Islanders get it out at 7. Final 6 seconds ticking down. And this one is going in the books into the lost column. They scored 3 in the first and 3 in the third. And it's enough for the New York Islanders to beat the Maple Leafs by a score of 6-3. And they outshoot the Leafs 34-29 on the night. And the 3 stars are brought to you by your Ontario Honda dealers. Up your game, lease the CRV from 2.99% up to 28 months. Visit HondaOntario.com.
Well, third star will go Willie Nylander, his 33rd multi-goal game, but still only has 1 career hat trick for the Leafs, and that came in 2017 in a game in Boston. That's star number 3. Star number 2, I think we got to go with the Oakville kid, Isaiah George, who scores his first National Hockey League goal, does it in front of his own family.
You are a softie.
Well,
you are. Yeah, what?
And the first star, Bo Horvat. A couple of goals and an assist, a 3-point night for the former Vancouver Canuck to help the Islanders to a 6-3 victory over the Leafs.
So join us on Monday afternoon, 2 o'clock, the Winnipeg Jets here. Next generation game. And we will be along with yours truly, Mr. Ralph, and some youngster named David Bowen as well. So it should be a lot of fun. And we invite you to stay tuned for the post-game show. Ailish Forfire and Justin Cuthbert coming your way. What do you want to talk about now?
Let David know that don't do a lot of afternoon games, and I'm not great hungover, so prepare for the event of a lifetime. No, I'm looking forward to it. We're going to have fun, and to think, young David sitting with us all these years, watching him grow up and go to the Ontario Hockey League.
Hopefully through osmosis, he's figured something out, right?
Yes.
Yeah, exactly.
But very much looking forward to it.
All right, buddy, thank you. And we will have you back here at 2 o'clock on Monday afternoon. And until then, you've been listening to Molson Leaf Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
You've been listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590 The Fan and the Leafs Radio Network. There's a
Hey, insiders, not the result we wanted tonight. A rough victory by the Islanders. That was tough for the Buds tonight. 6-3 the final with the empty netter. Not much to say about this one, but there's Veronica. Good night, Leafs Nation. Stay safe. See you all next game. Thank you, Miss V, for being here and hanging out with us and keeping us all going in the chat. The same with you, Brandy Gale, Steve C, Andrew Hurd, Noah Dang. Appreciate all of you hanging out with us and firing up this chat, making this the place to be. I can't wait until the game coming up here on Monday. That's going to be a lot of fun. Monday afternoon, it's a day game. 2 o'clock Eastern, 1 o'clock Central. Brandy out in the West there, 11 a.m. It's morning time for you, Brandy, out in California. It's going to be a fun one. Can't wait to listen to Joe Bowen's son do the call during the second period. Really, really cool. Can't wait to see that. There you go. Pickleball Pat is an insider. Thank you, Pickleball Pat, for joining the club. And a great chat that we just pinned in the football game, which is almost at halftime, but Tennessee's starting to come back. It's 21-3, 42 seconds to go, 3rd and 2 down on the 7-yard line. Ooh, can they get it in? Oh, there's the run. He's got the first down. He's going to be stopped at the 4. It's going to be a heck of a finish over there. We're already approaching 140,000 views on that one, and it's not even halftime yet. So it's going to be a huge live tonight, especially if that game gets close. Once we send everybody over from here, going to be crazy. To the post game. Happy holidays, Gina. Jose Duarte, good night, my man. Thank you for hanging out with us. Go Leafs, go. Oh, there's Sarah. Hi, Sarah. Did Tom give you the microphone? No. Did it? I have it here. All right, well, they're running the post-game stuff here soon, so I'm going to cut it back to that. You going to fix your hair? It's a little late now. All right, we're good. Sarah's hair is fixed. All right, guys, have a great night. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Bills, Patriots tomorrow, and who else tomorrow? The Raptors as well. Go Leafs, go. We'll get back in the win column next time out. See you guys.
But they can't prevent them, and this is why I don't take the Avalanche seriously as a Stanley Cup contender, no matter how top-heavy they are with future Hall of Famers. Their goaltending's bad.
Under Review with Mick Kern, 11 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. The biggest plays.
What a save!
Hits.
Oh, a hard hit.
Goals.
McDavid scores!
Tune to NHL Network Radio for the most in-depth hockey talk on the planet.
He is the GM of the Minnesota Wild.
Insiders.
The revenues and the big business.
And the best analysis on the air.
Alex Ovechkin!
The NHL on Sirius XM. Hear every team and your hometown call. NHL Network Radio. Sirius XM 91. And on demand with the Sirius XM app.
Score!
24/7 hockey talk.
Understand that you are allowed to legally still check the head, not just the head. The head by itself is a penalty. If you wanted to change it, that would be like in the IIHF. That's probably a penalty at the Olympics. That's probably at the World Juniors. That guy's gone and suspended. I ask you, do you want that?
Sirius XM, NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and on your schedule with the Sirius XM app. Hockey 24/7 on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio.
The only two players in the history of the National Hockey League to have 600 goals, 1,600 points, 3 Stanley Cups, and 2 Conn Smythes. Wayne and Sid. Just like it absolutely blows your mind how good Sidney Crosby is and how much we take him for granted.
Sirius XM, NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and on your schedule with the Sirius XM app. The big names are on NHL Network Radio.
The Executive Director, Vice President of Hockey Operations for the NHL, Colin Campbell.
The one thing that we're wrestling right now, like when do you change a call? We talk about a listening device in the referee's ear. Do we make that next step? How more perfect can we make a game through video review and helping the officials on the ice?
Sirius XM, NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app.
Ray Hudson here with an important announcement. You can listen to your favourite Sirius XM FC shows on the all-new Sirius XM app, now available for all subscribers.
Gaelish Forfar and Justin Cuthbert wrapping things up after a 6-3 loss for the Toronto Maple Leafs against the New York Islanders on a back-to-back, but nonetheless, the New York Islanders.
Yeah, turns out the outlier wasn't the first period where the Leafs got whacked pretty hard. It was the middle frame where they inched closer back into the game. Yeah, the Maple Leafs were outplayed tonight. Outplayed certainly in 2 of the 3 periods. And ultimately lost the game. There's some excuses there. Second half back-to-back. Austin Matthews out. But both previously have not been excuses for this team. So all in all, pretty bad effort from the Maple Leafs and probably deserved to be leaving the arena without 2 points. Or even 1 point.
0 points for you. And a lump of coal.
Deserved.
Big old lump of coal. Let's take an NHL scoreboard look to wrap things up. It's presented by Bet365. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Must be 18 plus. Ontario only. Play responsibly. Visit ConnexOntario.ca.
Okay, the Predators beat the Kings 3-2 in overtime. Same score in overtime. Oilers beat the Sharks 6-4. The Flames beat the Blackhawks earlier today. In overtime right now, it's 4-4 Flyers and Blue Jackets in an exciting game, I'd imagine.
Lots of overtime.
Canadians 5-1 over the Red Wings. That's a final. Devils 3-0 over the Panthers. That's a final. Bruins hand the Sabres yet another loss. How many in a row now?
13, dog.
13 in a row. Apparently it was excruciating. We'll have to check the tape on that. And the Jets beat the Wild 5-0 in a big Central Division clash. Still to come tonight. 15 minutes from now, Kraken and Golden Knights, Senators and Canucks, second half, Hockey Night in Canada.
All right, our next broadcast will be the last one before Christmas. Monday, 2 p.m. puck drop versus the Jets. It's our next generation game. We got a little Bowen family affair up here.
You have to have another seat up here.
Yes, chairs will be moved. It will be a lovely day. We'll be on the air at 1:30 here on Sportsnet 590 The Fan with your Molson Leafs hockey broadcast. In the meantime, We will send it to Leafs Talk with JD Bunkus and Sam McKee. Thanks for listening to Molson Leafs Hockey on Sportsnet 590, The Fan, and the Maple Leafs Radio Network.
Leafs Talk, JD Bunkus, Sam McKee. The only people or the only person that's happy tonight is Austin Matthews because the record without him doesn't get worse. Leafs have a dog effort and get crunched by the New York Islanders, the lowly New York Islanders. Well, I don't even know where to start with this one, buddy.
So let's compare bad teams because we watched the Buffalo Sabres, who are out and out awful last night.
That's the worst team you'll ever see.
And they lost again tonight in really, really, really epic fashion with a guy pushing one of their own guys pushing a Boston Bruin into his goalie, and then they shot into the empty net with like 13 seconds left, I think. So that's how they lost their 13th in a row.
Good stuff.
But if you combined the New York Islanders and the Buffalo Sabres, I think you'd have a really great team. Because it's like the Isles are all veteran leadership. That's all they are. It's just like veteran leadership guys. It's like Horvat and Anders Lee and who else you got on there? You got Pulick and all these different guys that they have on there. Brock Nelson, potential Leafs target. Like they had a lot of just veteran leadery guys. And tonight they look like a veteran hockey team. And the Leafs look dog tired. And that's not an excuse. It's a professional league. They had nothing to give. They went down too early and folded up shop, in my opinion. They got a couple in the late, a couple goals here and there. The end of the game, clearly they had they got to have the 6-on-5 and have the puck a bunch. But ultimately, that was just a really ugly one for me. Really ugly.
Yeah, this is where we're at with this game. Is we're starting with like, hey, should we combine the Sabres and Niles?
Yeah,
like that's how ugly this game was. Yeah. How few talking points are. I'm with you. I think that they showed up. The Morgan Riley pairing with Connor Timmins turns out to be exactly what people fear, which is
bottom pair.
Yeah, like you said it, the bottom pair. They give up 2 early. Leafs fall down 2-0, and I thought Nylander was buzzing for a little while. Actually gave them hope. Scored a pair tonight. Really wanted the hat trick with the empty net pulled. You could tell he was.
He was firing it from everywhere.
Oh, he wanted it, baby. He wanted it. But this is just like it when you're playing the back-to-back. I guess you know what I'll start with this. When you want to see like the differences with the coaching staff and the differences with the teams, it's like, okay, you're on a back-to-back. You're a low event hockey team. Start on time. Like they don't start on time, and you don't have Matthews in the lineup. You're on a back-to-back. Be defensively responsible to start this hockey game. And so for 2 to be in the back of your net on the first 4 shots.
Yeah. Like it's not a good start.
It's like that to me is the troubling thing in this game is that this team I don't have the numbers in front of me. I've got it in a notebook. I keep jotting down exactly how many games that they've started in the last 10 where they give up the first goal. It's a lot, right? Like they do this. This has been a theme with this team. And you would have thought that you were going to give your best punch early and they gave their worst punch early. And then, yeah, man, this is what happens if you're in a back-to-back and you're shorthanded. You're going to get your eyes pumped shut by a hungry team on a Saturday night that's in your barn who loves to play like everybody else in Toronto. You got to start on time. And like, it's just not good enough. Good enough.
I thought early in the season, that trend was kind of gone. And that was like a talking point that we did a lot on this show was that one of the calling cards of Keith Leaf teams was that they started slow and they really had trouble with that. And you remember early in the season, they were jumping all over teams in their wins. Like we think back to that Tampa game, you think back to that Jets game, you think back to some of those games earlier in the season where they're just like, even the second game of the season where they went down to Sheldon Keefe in New Jersey and scored 3 in the first. They're pumping them up. Like it really was a calling card early. And I think it's just, once you start to get into the rigors of a long season and during your busiest stretch, I think you kind of start to your old habits die hard where you have these lazy starts and you think that you have enough skill where you can kind of skill your way out of it. And they got away with it against the Buffalo Sabres. They had listen, they had an okay start last night, but I mean, you can't really count that.
Sure.
But it happens last week too against the Buffalo Sabres.
Yep.
It's starting to kind of pop up here. And I think it just comes down to them, not a message running dry. Clearly, the coach has only been here for like half a season. I'm not saying I'm like panicking about that, but it's just, I think it's a lot of hockey. These guys are just playing like every other night, it feels like. And I'm not making an excuse. I just think that like they're just a lot of tired brain and they can't really get the message through right now. It feels like the team that's not getting the message through.
No, but here's the thing. So I had Rick Bonus on my show on Thursday.
Yeah.
And good reco by you. Get the guy who's coached the most games in NHL history.
One of the sweetest sweethearts too.
Truly great guy. Like genuinely
love the
enjoyed
man.
talking to him.
Love
It's
the
up
man.
there on my podcast feed.
Yeah.
But I was asking about that. Like, hey, when do you start to get a little concerned? How long does it take for you to kind of get the system and drill it down? And he mentioned that this is kind of the thing that happens, and that unfortunately for Leaf fans, and you're not really going to want to hear this, but he was like, with the Jets, he didn't feel like they started to really dig into the system and truly adopt it until year 2 because of those habits. And he said it, like, it's hard. Guys mix up the coverages. They forget what it is that they're doing. And part of the thing about shuffling these D pairings too is that guys are going to start to forget their responsibilities. I will say that the one where McCabe pinches is like, I get that you're trying to be aggressive and that's part of McCabe's game, but that one is a little bit of just a overly aggressive pinch. It's probably the thing about McCabe's game that you like the least. You and I loved.
Had a bad one against Dallas too that ended up with a goal with Matthews in the back of Sam Steele as well.
Yeah, he's the originator of us using like 2 horned up because that's him. Like he's the king of getting horned up, the OG of getting horned up.
And really, there's a few guys. I don't know.
Oh yeah, but on the blue line, in terms of him,
that's just quite a statement. The king getting horned up. There's a few other guys.
Yeah, fine. I just mean that like this was our thing last year with him, where it was like either trying to get too much of a hit or too much retribution or too much on a pinch. He did it again tonight, but I was thinking about it where it's like, this is kind of the thing and why people keep talking about searching for Morgan Riley's partner. And I'll say it again. I've said it over and over and over again. I get that he's playing with Connor Timmins there, and Connor Timmins is no peach in terms of a partner. And I don't think that it's a good fit. And I do think that all it is this coach saying it's going to be somebody else, right? Like this is going to be somebody else. It's the same reason why they didn't mix up the lines to start this game, because Berube decided to start it with what it's going to look like for him when guys return or the lineup is right. He kept the pairings that he felt like are his forever pairings together. But it's like, Morgan Riley, can you just have a game where you elevate the guy? Can you have one night where for 7.5 sheets, you're the one that's kind of giving them a bit of a punch for a team that, again, I'm pretty sure the stat still holds true, that they're the only team in hockey without a goal from a defenseman in the third period in the NHL. They're one of the lowest scoring teams from their back end in the NHL.
For sure.
And I don't want to see. No, I'm pretty sure the third period goal thing
crazy.
is still true too. Like, unless I'm missing one from like, because that's a recent stat. I put that out there on Monday. Okay. They've only had the Sabres, Stars, and this game since then. So which one did they get a defenseman scoring in the third period? None.
Zero.
So it's like, this guy, you got to start doing something, man. You got to just start doing something other than being a liability.
Yeah. Like he's entered, and rightfully so, he's entered the crosshairs of Leafs Nation here.
Yeah, he is.
Like you
can start to see the worm turn on social. Like I open up, you know me, I don't spend like any time on Twitter during the games. And I just take a quick little peek every once in a while. It's like, hey, what's going on here? It's like
even in the group chats,
Oh, for sure.
Like it's definitely it's a bit of a sore spot for it. And and you know what I'll say, he gets a pass here too. Like in this city, like he has been getting a pass for a long time in terms of like a real referendum on his game. Like there's a certain faction of Leafs Nation that really is hard on him. But I do think, like, as sort of the quote unquote number one defenseman on this team, highest paid defenseman on the team, and for some of his regular season stuff that he's had over the past few years, I don't think he gets it that bad. But, you know, with the lack of a Timothy Liljegren, with the lack of a Justin Hall, with the lack of a Jake Gardiner, with the lack, like, being the highest paid guy on the D-core and having probably, like, I mean, he has definitely the worst plus minus. What was he tonight? Is he -3, -2 tonight? I'm just quickly pulling it up here.
He started -2.
He finished -2. So like he's continued to solidify his Masters lead here on the Leafs in terms of plus minus. Like this is just going to continue to build for him. And like he's had issues before. He can dig out of them. We know the playoff stuff. Like we know how good he can be in the playoffs, but this is not going away, this conversation.
Yeah.
And
also though, your regular season play should be accountable too. Like I know we've done that many times, but it's like these guys are trying to win the Atlantic Division this year. That's in everybody's sights. And there's certain things like, I'm seeing a lot of Leaf fans go like, just rest Matthews until the playoffs, like, like the do complete load management, whatever, right? Like
LTIR.
Well, it's just like, people just want to seem healthy come playoff time, which I totally understand because that's where it matters. But I do think that part of convincing people that they are different is going to be breaking some of these habits and showing some things in the regular season that look different than last year. And also trying to win the Atlantic Division and not being in a first round playoff matchup against the Boston Bruins or the Tampa Bay Lightning, where those teams just have played you so many times. It's like, so I was watching the football game today, right? And they're asking Mike Tomlin, but one of the Steelers game. They asked Mike
football games.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it was a stupid thing to say. But they asked Mike Tomlin, like, why do you have so much success against Lamar Jackson? He's like, because I've gotten to game plan against him twice a year since he's been in the NFL. Yeah. And the same thing applies to Leafs in the first round against the Bruins and against the Lightning. It's like, okay, cool. You might be better than them this year. You might be favored against them this year, but we've seen it time and time again. Like it's going to be a coin toss. Yeah. Remove yourself from the coin toss, give yourself a better bracket, and you need Morgan Riley to do it. So I have two quick Riley thoughts. I know I'm going on
What a rip.
One is just like, so I agree with you about the shelter thing because when he came into the league, he always had Jake Gardner, and Jake Gardner was like the whipping boy who took all the smoke.
What's worse than a whip? He was the bazooka boy. Like, God, he took it, man.
Never forget. Yeah, I don't think anyone ever got it worse than him after that Bruins game because I looked at like his social media
no, it was horrendous.
Do you remember him in the dressing room when they
with that big old head just sitting there,
dark, man,
like staring daggers through the wall? Yeah, it was not pretty.
He always has 100-yard stare. That one was like he could see around the earth.
Freddie Anderson owes him $10 million for taking that.
So
letting in beer leaguers that whole third period, and Jake Gardner took the brunt of it. Anyways, continue.
Anyway, I know I take a personal shot at me inside. It's a hard debate. Going back, just bringing up old wounds between you and that side. It's that kind of you wearing the jolly old
thing. Season, baby.
A lot of jolliness coming from you right now. Back to me. Digging out that. How many times in the group chats I get heated up? Just get mad. The boys coming at Freddie Anderson. But so it was that, and I used to watch the two play and go, that like the gap control between these two guys and like the defensive play between these two guys, like Riley's worse, and whatever. That passes, and then it's kind of like the same thing over and over again, where it's like there was a little window there where people were looking at it and going like, "Wait, is he really bad defensively?" It's like, okay, yeah, little tiny touch, but then you're right. There's always been somebody else, and he's had the playoff moments. He has the heart. He's someone where people love that he wears a letter because he'll step up in those moments. But ultimately, like the body of work in general, like throughout regular seasons, has not been overly spectacular. And this is the last thing I'll say on it, and I'll throw it over to you with a question. Yeah. I thought if he hit free agency today, what's he getting?
Probably like around what he gets. Everybody gets like free agency. It's a hard question. Like, what is he worth versus what somebody actually pays him? Because like,
I guess that's fair, but okay. What
like,
would you...
guys blow their guys get blown out of the water with these contract offers on like, think about some of the stuff that gets handed out. So it's a different
7.5 next year is going to look even better, right? Yeah. Like it's going to be more palatable, but I'm
getting better and better every year.
Right now on this cap, let's change it then. If you're taking out the like variable of what a team would play him and someone ends up, going nuts on a contract. If you were the GM, like of this team this year, and you got to remodel the salary cap, like you get in a time machine, you get to start it, and he's a free agent, and you know what you know now. Like, what are you offering him to be on this Leafs team? Because it's not the number that he's playing at right now. Straight up.
I think it's between 5.5 and 6.
That's where I'm at with it too. At 5.5 is what I wrote down.
Yeah, probably $2 million or $1.5 million less. Like he's just not giving you the value on that contract. He's really not.
So here's part two.
Yeah, go ahead.
If you lost Morgan Riley or you lost OEL, would you really feel all that different?
No, that's a good question. Like, you mean, I think
in terms of like, if you were like, okay, Leafs are gonna like most important guys, he's clearly not one of the two. It's McCabe and Tanev, 1-2, no question.
Yeah.
So who's the third most important defenseman on the team? I don't think that's an outrageous question, straight up. Like, I don't. I think that OEL has played better throughout the regular season than Morgan Riley has.
Yeah, that's fair. I guess you'd have to go with. I think you'd have to go with him. I think you have to go with Oliver Ekman-Larsson, then Riley, and then you're going to give Riley the nod ahead of everybody else.
Yeah, of course. I'm not going to put like Timmins had a good start to the season, but if Timmins gets lost, I don't care. Like when Myers steps in and Timmins is in, it's no different.
Yeah. So no, I agree. I think it's, if you're ranking him, he's the fourth most important right now, and that's not where you want your highest paid guy to be. So, I mean, is he going to find it?
Like, just ask you a question. We're still being kind of generous with the 5.5 because OEL makes 3.5.
Yes, for sure. But do you believe like he's going to find it here?
Yes, because I think that eventually they're going to get him a partner, and then we're going to do this whole. It's just like, again, time is a flat circle with this team. Okay. We're watching them just be like slow starters. We're watching one of the stars be able to line up, and then a couple of the other guys pick up their games. Like, it's just like it's all the same stuff, really. Like,
it just feels like it's
done.
It feels a little worse this year, though, for sure, than it has in years past.
No, dude, a couple of years ago, remember he did the company with pizza, or he did the thing with Pizzaville. I had that meme in my phone. I was firing that out like every second day.
I'm trying to like, well, just looking back at his years here, like his plus minus. Like, I mean, I know plus minus, people hate plus minus or whatever. I guess,
no, but around this time, the year, last
2 years ago, 2022, 2023, he finished a -9.
Yeah.
So that was maybe the season you're talking about. But last year was a +7 or whatever.
But 2 years ago, the year before he got Shen, people were caving him in before the Christmas break.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. Yeah.
Like right like this, just like right now.
So I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. You just keep running them out there and hope it gets better.
Well,
that's the only thing. That's the only thing you can do. That's it.
Anyway, all right. That's enough on that.
Well, no, but like people have always talked about, and they love to draw parallels between Toronto sports teams. And like the thing that people love to say, and I think you've probably said this take, maybe you've said this take, maybe I'm just stealing it from you or whatever, but I'll just do it instead. Could be you, could be somebody else. But the Kawhi trade, and everyone's like, it's Marner, it's Nylander, it's whatever. It's not those. It's Riley. Riley is like the one that like you trade him, and that's like the one that really shakes things up. That's like maybe actually part of the problem. And maybe I'm wrong, but was it you that said that?
Yeah. And and not only have I said this, it's just like, dude,
I hear a lot of sports takes every day.
No.
I'm sorry.
I'm not upset. This is good. It's good that you remember it. I'm just saying, like, I had that take, and then he turned his game around. So the fact that we've broken this out, it might be like Sidney Crosby, where he was in the slump, and he said to the reporter the other night, what took you so long?
Yeah.
Morgan Riley's been waiting for this. Like, fire that take out and put it out there and watch him turn it around. Yeah, I guess it's a weird one for me because it's like, you're right. I do feel more concerned, and yet I'm just clinging on to the past of like,
that's all you do ever. Whenever you talk about Riley every year, you cling on to the one year. It's like, oh, he's great in the playoffs. It's like,
but he's old.
He was great against the Tampa that one year. They lose in the first round every year.
Yeah,
he's Clark Gillies out there. He's Clark Gillies. Like, anyways.
Yeah. Anyway,
let's move on. It's getting dark.
I know it is. It's getting too dark. It's getting too dark. You want to do some positives? Mix it up?
I do. David Camp.
Yeah, I got 2. I got 64 at the top, ahead of Nylander. Nylander scores twice. Beauties. We're like, who cares? Camp.
This is
pass Camp made on that one goal was outrageously good.
And I love the decision by Berube to keep the two lines that have been good together. And they're clearly not good tonight. Like the third line we can get to in a bit, but like RIP third line last Sunday till right now, done. Like what a life it was. It's like the same length as a fly. Great life. Anyways, but I will say that Camp from the start, and there's been a ton of conversation from Leafs Nation about like, oh, you're gonna send down Minton and like, Camp, he never doesn't score or whatever. He's an adult. He's a grown man. Like, he just big, tall, rangy, can skate. Like, not the most offensively skilled, clearly, but good defensively, good reads, can step up here into a pinch. Played well tonight, rangy, physical. He's an important player for this team. Like, he can go up and down like this. If you need him, go to third line, kills penalties. And he's a good he's a good playoff type player. And I thought he was excellent tonight. Good for him to kind of reward the coach's decision to put him up there. I thought he was honestly one of the only guys with any legs.
I thought it was Nylander and him that were like the only two guys.
And maybe it's because he hasn't played at all and he was off for so long. So maybe he's buzzing a little bit more than these guys. But I thought he was awesome and had jump. So kudos to Kampf. And good decision by Berube to put him as the first line center, I thought.
Yeah, I thought Nyes was solid tonight. Like, didn't have any problems really with his game. Marner was kind of doing his thing, like as always. Like, it
doesn't
just
have
like
any bad ones.
Yeah, exactly. Like, Marner didn't have a bad game by any stretch. It was just like, the guys that were a part of the third line was like, oof,
oh boy,
look mighty soft this evening, fellas. Like,
rest on your bat out there, like bing. You're like, oh crap, they've been playing against the Sabres.
Not the Sabres. Damn it. Not another team that's gonna not forecheck or was willing to play shitty with us. Damn, that sucked. Anyway, I thought Kampf was good. I thought he was solid. All the things that you just said, kind of perfect. I really love that play. And it did get me kind of thinking like, oh yeah, we are pretty hard on this guy. And now I got to eat crow on Monday.
I'm not hard on him. I like him. I've liked him forever.
I'm not really super hard on him. I would say that I've just been way more like very much in the, my camp is immediately trade to clear the space because what he's given you above replacement is just not worth the difference in cap. And I think that will be the case next year. Like, I think that you're trying to move off of him for sure. But for this season, it's like, he's, if he ends up being this team's fourth line center, they're going to be in good shape.
Yeah, it's a great spot to be. It really is.
Yeah. It's like, he's a really good fourth line center. He's just paid a little bit. He got paid a little bit too much because the Leafs got desperate for centers. Yeah. When Ryan O'Reilly walked out the door.
When he turned his back, like, it's like, I don't like the media.
Like I said, man, Ryan O'Reilly, like I'm sure that his teammates, every time that they lose a game every night, when he gets on the bus and he's like, guys, want to hear a song?
How about Wonderwall?
I was like, he's just enjoying losing games and going down to.
They got a big win today over the Kings.
Yeah.
Big win over the Kings.
Yeah, good for them. Yes. Every night, Kid Rock's.
Were they finish? Yeah, last place.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Sturgill Simpson's in town. I love living here. That's cool. Anyway, Kampf, good game. Nylander, good game too. Yeah. Like, you just buzz it.
That goal was, it gave me. I sent a tweet out, but I reminded me of a fellow countryman for this guy. That was Matt's-esque.
Yeah, it was
across grain, backhand, top corner. Beautiful. Not many guys in the league doing this. Holds it off, cross body against one of the best goalies in the world. Beautiful, beautiful shot, backhand. I love. I'm a big fan of a backhand goal, and that was a really, really nice one. He was buzzing. So he's been, was he tied for the league leading goals now? There.
He made me think about something in this too, which is like with Matthews out, we're always trying to do like the theories, and everyone always says like the other guys get their chance to step up. But I do think like Nylander really likes being the man, right?
Oh yeah.
And when Matthews is out and he does get that extra ice time, like there's a reason they leave him out there for the full power play, even though it hasn't worked all season long, right? He wants his chances. Has he scored once as the extra forward on the power play?
It's a question I don't know the answer to, but anecdotally, no
shot. No shot.
Narrative wise, zero chance.
0% chance that he scored one.
He scored some power play goals for sure, but on the first unit, no question.
Yeah. But never that when it's like, hey, if anything, I think like he's just turned pucks over and killed the second unit because he's tired.
He has 7 power play goals. He has to have 1 on the second minute.
I don't think he does, man. I don't think he does. Yeah, he's like a little kid who won't go to bed, where they're like falling asleep and they're like, I'm not tired. It's like, go to bed. You got to go to bed. You're tired. You fall asleep on the couch. You fall asleep at the kitchen table. You got to go to bed. No, I won't go to bed. I won't do it. But yeah, that goal was nasty. And I do think that if you're looking at positives, it's like, I would expect that his run of excellent play is going to continue. And so is Marner's with Matthews out.
I think, it's funny to the Nylander conversation because we were so scared last year when he got paid at the absolute peak of his powers.
Mm-hmm.
And then he had like 4 bad games and I had a bunch of bad takes about it. And then since then, he's been one of the top 10, top 15 guys in the league since then. And he's getting paid. He's like, you have to play like this when you're getting paid that money, but he has been unbelievable pretty much after those games against, I don't know who it was, but there's like 3 or 4 games there where I was having a field day with those takes. I remember, but he's been amazing since then. Like straight up. He just scored. It feels like he scores every other night.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Back to Gripesville.
Choo-choo. Polar Express to Gripesville.
Back to being upset about things.
Yes, please.
I don't think I've been mad at Berube like all season. In fact, most people who send me dumb Berube tweets, I usually just hammer that.
Block.
Oh, hello, mute. Oh, hello, new muted person with a horrible Berube take. Goodbye forever. This was a bad Berube game. Like,
what did you hate the most?
Him mix up the lines. I was like, yeah, whatever, fine. He's trying to kind of find a spark, and it's whatever. Him deciding to leave Wool in net after the 5th goal.
Crazy.
Like, hey, man, you're playing Monday afternoon.
Yeah.
And you are playing the goaltender that everybody's worried is going to play too much.
Mm-hmm.
You just called up Dennis Hildeby because you want to protect Matt Murray's waiver status, which totally makes sense. It's like 30 days in the NHL or 10 games, something like that, right? Where he gets to become non-waiver exempt again.
Yeah.
So they play the smart game. Tree Living does the smart cap move, brings Hildeby up. You got the kid out there. Let him eat the end of this hockey game. Why is Joe Wool still in there after the 5th goal? And then even like
bring out the long man. Like, where's the bring in some guy no one's ever heard of, like to pitch 4 innings, throw 110 pitches.
Dude, play with the empty net for the rest of the game. I don't care. Don't put Joe Wool in there when the team is playing completely quit hockey for his confidence. Like, he's only let in 4 goals since the very beginning of the season. I don't want him feeling bad about the game.
And right during the end of that like stretch there, they quit on a play and he goes sliding out of the net and like kind of loses his balance and like falls over a little bit. Yeah. And I'm like, oh my God, get him out of there.
I'm just saying, get ready for confirmation bias talk Monday if he doesn't look sharp. Like, It's
well,
like,
you're going to be on a train to Christmasville. You're not going to care.
No, I'm not leaving the 23rd. I'm leaving the 24th. So I'll be watching that game.
Okay.
Yeah, this is a good time for a PSA. Hey, Leafs Talk after this is on break. I like how we're giving you the total mail-in crap-o version of Leafs Talk. It's like we're on break from here until the new year. So first game back in the new year we're doing, but then until then we're off. We're off. And for those of you that can complain, it's like we got people who produce this show who also don't want to be having to go into the office on through the holidays. So please just relax about it. Also, I love indignant chat like this. Lou St. Clair, are you two going to talk about Wool or not? Like, all right, bro, chill out.
Holy, it's Lou. Christmas, brother.
Yeah,
sweet Lou, you're killing me.
St. Clair, relax. Relax, St. Clair. Yeah, it wasn't a good game for Wool, but what do you want to say? The guy's been unbelievable all season long, and tonight was the first game since his very first performance where I thought that he had some bad goals. He bites on a fake, like trying to cheat a little bit across on the one goal where who was it that ripped it low blocker on him?
I'm not going to think of it. Was it Horvat?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it was Horvat. Yeah, that goal wasn't pretty. One of them gets tipped. Like, it's not like, what do you really want him to do? Another one's like on a rebound where it's a scramble after the McCabe pinch. Like, I didn't think that he was dreadful. I also don't think he was good. So I don't really have too much of a take on it.
No. I just thought, like the starting goalie who you're going to need to depend on can have an off night here and there when he's been excellent all year.
Yeah.
There's my take.
He should have mixed in, I thought, one more save, but out of the 5 that he let
his
in.
His team totally quit on him the second he let in 2. So they just quit. They had 16 shots until 10 minutes left in the third period. You can't do a ton here.
Yeah, it was pretty much no show. What's next for you?
So I thought okay. I don't know if I'm allowed to do this after you yelled at me about the human interest story last night.
I liked Isaiah George too.
That was sick. Like he played for the. I'm pretty sure
I have it in the notes. So
played for the Marlboros. Pretty sure. Like I think he played for the Marlboros. He's a dirty London Knight, of course. Won the championship with them last year. Don't like that, but good for him. That's awesome.
Yes.
That guy paid
I'm not a monster, bro.
Yeah, you are. The guy who makes $800K. Oh, yeah.
No, this was sick, dude. He's like, again, he brought 20 people to the game. He's from Oakville. He played for the Marlboros, and he rips a goal in his first game against the Toronto Maple Leafs.
First career goal against the Leafs. It's like he can never play another game. He's thrilled.
Yeah, dude. Everyone remembers it. Like every one of his family and friends. They're going to have a great night. No, I was stoked for him. Like that was the back-breaking moment of the game, and I was still like, That's cool. Right on.
That was cool. Good for him.
Yeah.
Really
hey,
good
guess
for him.
what? You know what I really love? Guys caring. And he cared deeply there. And I was like, yeah.
Another quick one for me. I asked Joe to clip this moment from the broadcast.
I'm glad you did.
And it was Romanov. Romanov was warming up on the bench. And and then incredible camera work here.
Yeah.
Pans over. Okay. So I gotta be careful here. Okay, because I know lots of people listen to the Fan, a little older, and there's podcast listeners are a little older. Like I saw everybody being like, "Oh, Lou, like he's making sure so he doesn't like get he's like mafia stuff. Like he's like, does he know where he is? Like that is the most confused face I've ever seen on a man.
Ever. That's the opposite.
Dude, he looks so confused.
No, disagree. My thought on this was like he looked so much like my grandpa watching me do anything he didn't like. Like if I showed up with long hair at Christmas, that's the look I got from Dave Whalen, just staring me down, being like, what the heck is this about? Like I think that he's just like curious about what that kid's warm-up was.
He just was like, I don't know what's going on here. That is one of the funniest shots I've ever seen. It's just
it's a great look. It's just an incredulous look. I just was like, what's he thinking?
What's he thinking? What's he thinking? He's like, why am I still doing this? Like it's Christmas season.
He guarantees he loves doing it.
I get it, but like at some point, he's like, how old is he? 83?
No, is Lou that old?
Dude, he's gotta be. I say 83 or 84. Gotta be that age. How you're Googling now?
Yeah, I am. I'm Googling. I'm taking the under on 83. He's 82.
82. How old's Belichick?
He's in his 70s.
Okay, like I do think there's like
or whatever.
Like 80 is, God love the elderly people in my life, but like you're gonna run a professional hockey franchise, like that's old.
Hey, some dudes are sharp.
82 is old.
Yeah, but here's the thing, man.
Lou's still sharp. He's the general manager of the Islanders.
Yeah, and I really do think that some guys, they like part of the reason why this is gonna be me, man. I'm gonna be grinding until I'm 82 as well. I think like you stop, you lose it a little bit. You got to stay on the ball. You got to stay going. I'm with it.
That's fair. I get that.
Dude, it's 2024. 82 now is like 63. It's about to be 2025. These old dogs are aging in reverse.
Last thing I'll say is, I see him there and I'm like, God, I can't believe they got rid of him when they did.
Yeah, no, it sucks.
Like the Leafs getting rid of him.
Yeah.
At that point of like their stuff to give it to Dubas. It was just like, Shanahan has to live with that one forever.
So does everyone who is a Dubasite that watched this show. That was a strong disciple, and who's like, so it's
all the sites have contract. How about all the deals he signed to set them up perfectly? Like Freddie Anderson, Morgan Riley, Nazem Kadri, like all these contracts, like the Trey. Anyways, I don't need to get into it, but just seeing him standing there, I was like, God, why'd they do that? Like, sure wish they hadn't done that. Like, what if Colorado
before
had
the contracts too?
I know, right?
Insane time to do it.
What if Colorado had just taken Dubas? What a fascinating what if.
Oh man, would have been so great.
Fascinating what if.
Yeah,
we just would never had to have lived it.
Yeah, they would have extended Tyson Barrie, lifelong deal, lifelong deal. They were like, wow. I got to inherit these two superstars. Like, how much did you guys say you wanted? Yeah, whatever. Name your price. Just write it down on a sheet. Go. All right, I'm done. You got anything else?
Oh yeah, I did. Thought it was an impressive number. I wrote it down. 48 5-on-5 goals coming into tonight, and they let in 5 tonight. That's crazy. That's like 48 5-on-5 all year. Like you do have to take a quick step back. Horrible game, right? That was a horrible performance, no question. But like they have been pretty good defensively all year, and tonight was a bit of a blip on that. But 48 5-on-5 all year, and then 5 tonight is crazy.
Yeah, it is. That's really
crazy number. They said that on the broadcast. So, and Luke Swadron is Luke Swadron. Like, what's going on here? Like, is he in the chat? Is he watching? Like,
Luke is young and wears glasses, so he's hardcore Dubicite.
Luke says Lou looks like my grandparents when I try to explain my job.
Yeah. Luke's fire intakes. It's like, you wanted Engvall for 7 years. That's the lowest that Lou ever did, was trading for Engvall and then handing that contract. But
Old
again,
man moment.
But also, there's no GMs that don't make bad moves. This has never been the argument. Oh God, I'm actually glad that you mentioned this about like bad arguments. It's like or bad signings. That's not the argument. Everybody has bad signings. Everybody has bad moments as GMs. Like, you go through all the great ones, even have them. This reminds me of the Matthews thing, where it's like, so he's out for a little while. And I got a lot of people going like, now you want the detailed injury reports, man, blah, 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 blah. It's like, they didn't tell anybody about the injuries and he got hurt. That's the point. Like, it doesn't, like, the hiding it didn't matter at all.
I've been taking a beating in the mentions because yesterday I said that he shouldn't play, and then he played, and then he got even more hurt and is now probably going to be out. And everyone's like, you were crying about him not playing. You were crying about him. Now that he is playing, you're crying. I'm like, no, I didn't know what he was going to look like when he came back.
Yeah.
And then I saw him come back, and then they missed a practice, and they said he's fighting through something. I said, probably shouldn't play against the Sabres in December. Plays against the Sabres in December. Somebody gives him a, classic cross-check, just like nothing crazy to it. Right in the sweet
I don't know why people thought that was like a let the league look at it cross-check.
Oh God, he's digging away at the side of the net. The guy gave him a shot. That happens 100 times a game. Every Leaf fan
watch what
McCabe
does.
Bingo. It's like, like every Leaf fan's like, finally we got a guy that clears the front of the net, and then Matthews is digging away at the goalie, and somebody cross-checks him. They're like, kick him off the tour. Like, give me a break. Like, you can't have it both ways.
I know. That was a wild one.
I think the Leafs really screwed it up. Playing him hurt against the Sabres, that's a huge mistake by the organization. It is. And
I mean, like, I can't refute. It's like he got hurt, so yeah.
No, but like, even like playing him in that game, and like, I can say it because I was saying before the game even started, they shouldn't have played him. Like, I'm not often right about things. I do feel very right about this. They shouldn't have played him. He was hurt, and some guy got him right in the sweet spot, and now he's probably going to be out for another month. LTIR and spend the money.
No,
April 1st,
once they say day to day, it's over.
Oh boy, day to day, they got to fly him further into Europe. Fly him to Turkey.
Day to day, you might as well. Somebody better start putting together like the Matthews career highlight reel. It's like, it's just run it because it's over if it's day to day. Anyways, we're day to day through Christmas. Again, we're off for the Monday game. Real Kipper and Warren got you for the post. And then I think there's a game on the 27th and the 29th and then the 1st.
I'm just pulling up their schedule here.
So I think it's 4 games off here for Leafs talk.
Our next game will be
Thursday
the 2nd against the Islanders again.
Yay.
Yay.
Like I said, though, this is my favorite time of the year. I'm going to settle in, watch World Juniors, watch Leafs, have beers, get to just be a fan again. Oh, the best. Like,
your boy Gavin McKenna is the 13th forward, even though he's the best player.
No, he's not. He's going to be second line. Okay, he's going to be second line. If he's 13th forward, like I said, I'm gonna cheer for USA.
Well, I watched. I saw a bit of that I was flicking back and forth between that pre-tournament game and the Leafs game tonight. Canada's jerseys are putrid. Those black with the red like. Stop reinventing the wheel. Just wear red and white. Like, what are we doing here? I don't mind a little black mixed in, but like those jerseys are horrendous.
I agree. The black sweater has grown on me over the years. Like, I don't mind having it as a part of the uniform because I feel like it's kind of like the way that they've been like, all right, Switzerland, you can play hockey. Like, get on in here. You guys can have some red and white. Right, fine. So they've capitulated like good Canadians and bent the knee and added the color to the sweaters. But I don't like those ones either. But I'm so stoked for the juniors this year. Like, I cannot wait. This is a throwback year where it's like they got a gritty team. It's deep. They got a goalie that matters, and we care for the future. We got Gavin McKenna, like an uber star that's going to break out with the country, who's young, and people got to wait. I can't wait. Cannot wait for this. But if Gavin McKenna sits for even one game, I'm defecting, and I'm telling him to defect as well. Like, I'll be like, we're from Alaska. son. We play for Team USA. Matthew should play in the Four Nations after all. Anyway, for both of us, everybody have a happy holidays.
Yeah.
Everybody have a happy new year. We really do appreciate it as always. Be safe, have fun, and we'll talk to you in the new year.
All the best.
From the biggest stadiums to the coziest holes in the wall. From house parties to porch hangs to pride celebrations. From your favorite fuzz shop to your local Indian spot. From noodle bars to sports bars to salsa bars. There's a Molson with your name on it. Canadian Ultra XL. Molson. Everyone in. Must be legal drinking age.
Heard of Uline? You know, the have-it-all in-stock, ready-to-deliver shipping and industrial supply specialists. The company that does things for you that are unheard of, like keeping 41,000 items in stock in our own warehouses. With customer service reps on the line to get you what you need, when you need it, 24/7, 365, every time. Maybe you heard it here first. Want to hear more? Visit uline.ca. ULINE, your shipping and industrial supply specialists.
With a turbocharged engine, fuel-efficient econ mode, and tons of cargo space, the 2025 Honda CR-V was made for winter adventures. But with heated front seats, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, and a cozy interior, you may want to stay in its comforts a little bit longer. Lease the CR-V LX two-wheel drive from $99 weekly at 2.99% APR for 28 months with $2,100 down. But hurry, Honda Stretch Lease offers end January 2nd. OAC conditions apply. Includes $1,500 lease bonus. See HondaOntario.com.
You've been listening to NHL Play-by-Play on SiriusXM. Head over to SiriusXM NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91, for the best hockey talk.
Another shot, Redden blocked. Another chance. Game over. Bless you, boys. What a game. Do you believe this? Holy mackerel, the kid's on fire. They're going to the second round. Do you believe this? Holy mackerel. Point taken. 2-0 Toronto. 2-on-1. Minor in over the line looking for Tavares.
Thank you for finding us. Thank you for sharing out the link and bringing more hockey fans to our awesome community here on TSI. And let's get back to the hockey. Go Leafs, go! Let's tear them up.
Game on his stick. Score! Changing the world, one insider at a time. We'll see you in the chat. And holy Mackinac, go Leafs, go.
And lo and behold, he gets drafted in Toronto instead of some different market, and we know how crazy it can be here.
Oh yeah.
But and then the last thing I'll say on it is I remember leading up to the draft, lots of people said, "Can he handle Toronto?" And I thought, absolutely, no problem. And the biggest thing for me is when a young player comes in the league, and we talked about it earlier, if they're a -2 or 3 and they have a really tough night, you get to know how they're going to respond. And some that breaks their confidence, and maybe they need a stint in the AHL. You got to get them out of the pressure. Mm-hmm. But Austin was so good that if that happened, and when it's happened in his career, it doesn't hurt his confidence. He knows that he's in that category of player that I know I can redeem myself just get me to the next game now. And they can do, the best players can do that. And that's a different echelon of player at the NHL level that can do that. So if you look at the top players in the NHL, their confidence is not going to break. The guys right under that, they have a bad night. They may not want that next game.
SiriusXM has soccer covered end to end. SiriusXM FC. Hear live play-by-play and talk shows hosted by legends of the game. It's SiriusXM FC on Channel 157.
I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your SiriusXM NHL schedule for Saturday, December the 21st. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates. In the NHL, 1:30 p.m., Nashville Predators take on the LA Kings. Predators on Sirius and XM channels 91, Internet 935,